Chapter 18. Elementary Soul Master Academy teaches some basic things, such as the cultural events of our continent, some introductions to martial souls, and simple understanding of soul beasts. The duration of the school is 6 years. If you don't have any achievements by the age of 12, you can only become an ordinary soul master. An ordinary career is waiting for you. This is related to the strength of your martial soul. But you don't have to worry. Innate full soul power is destined to become a soul master very quickly. On the way, old Jack slowly told Tang San about Nodding City's Elementary Soul Master Academy. As for intermediate soul master academies, the things they teach are even more profound. Old Jack told the two little fellows about the information he had gathered in advance. Otherwise, they wouldn't know anything when they went to the academy. But it's much harder to graduate from an intermediate soul master academy. Old Jack raised 2 fingers and said, "You need to reach rank 20, obtain your second soul ring, and obtain the title of Soul Grandmaster." Wang Feng also listened carefully. To be honest, when he was reading about the Douluo continent, he ignored most of these introductions. Because he wasn't interested. He felt that the author was forcing him to write, and said a bunch of nonsense. He was born to read. So Wang Feng had long ignored most of the introductions and naturally couldn't remember them. After all, when reading novels, one would pick the important parts. However, now that he had transmigrated, Wang Feng listened carefully to these introductions and was somewhat interested. You can graduate from an intermediate academy after reaching rank 20? Tang San said in surprise. It's very easy. Wang Feng nodded. He felt that the energy in his body should break through rank 20. But he didn't have a soul ring. He couldn't use it. Easy? You sly little guy. Old Jack knocked Wang Feng's head. How can it be so easy? You have innate full soul power. Although you can find the academy's instructors to help you hunt for your first soul ring. Rank 20 soul rings need to be hunted by yourself. How dangerous are soul beasts? Countless civilian soul masters have been injured or even killed because of them. Do you think it's easy? Only those aristocratic children accompanied by their family's warriors are much safer than us. They want to rely on themselves to hunt soul beasts. This point has stopped many soul masters. Wang Feng curled his lips. Soul beasts. He hadn't seen many of them yet, so he was a little curious. How strong were these soul beasts? Compared to a soul master, what kind of gap was there? And was there a huge difference between the taste and that of ordinary wild beasts? Are they all crispy and chicken-flavored? Looks like my Chinese personality hasn't changed much even after transmigrating here for 6 years. Wang Fengxin complained in his mind. Why did he unconsciously think of eating? Grandpa Jack, they're elementary, intermediate, and there should be advanced, right? Tang San didn't think as much as Wang Feng and asked curiously. High level. Old Jack was stunned. He sighed and said, "An advanced soul master academy isn't something that commoners like us can dream of. It's too difficult to enter." There were only 2 advanced soul master academies in the Heaven Do Empire, and they recruited less than 100 people a year. Most of them were taken up by the nobles. However, those who are able to graduate from this academy are all soul masters that are highly sought after by various worlds. The empire has yet to grant them the title of nobility. Aristocrats. Wang Feng smiled. The overall structure of the Douluo continent was similar to the Middle Ages. There were also things like nobles. Advanced soul master academies were similar to Peking University, Tsinghua University, Harvard, and Cambridge in his previous life. Moreover, the conditions were not ordinary. It was indeed difficult for ordinary people to enter. High-level soul master. Tang San muttered a few words. You want to go and take a look. Moreover, even if you enter an advanced soul master academy, it's not easy to graduate. Old Jack continued. A soul master, just a simple soul ring, hinders the development of many soul masters. Without the help of a family or many powerful forces, it's very difficult to hunt soul beasts, obtain soul rings, and cultivate to improve yourself. Some people are born with a life of wealth. Everything seems to be arranged, and they don't lack anything. As for us commoners, every step is incomparably difficult and arduous. Old Jack shook his head gently. He was over 50 years old. Although he was only the village chief of a small village and didn't have much experience, every word he said was enough to make Tang San feel good. Even you, Wang Feng, felt a little emotional. Grandpa Jack's words were not just limited to the Douluo continent. Even in my previous life, it was the same. Wang Fengxin thought to himself, some people were born with a golden spoon. They didn't need to do anything to have wealth that ordinary people couldn't obtain even if they work hard for decades. There is also the inheritance and nurturing of a family. Compared to the Douluo continent, it was more than 1,000,000 times more realistic. For countless young people, they might spend their whole lives just for a house, a car, and many other things. They could only yearn for, feel jealous, and dream through a few words on the internet. No resources, no connections, no status. Struggling for a lifetime was just the starting point for others. For example, Brother Tao struggled for more than 20 years, but it was just his starting point. Wang Fengxin thought so. The condition for an advanced soul master to graduate is to rank 30 and obtain a third soul ring. After crossing this hurdle, even a soul elder will become an earth soul master. Even the soul ring and age are limited. It's not just any soul ring that can graduate. Old Jack continued, even if you enter an advanced soul master academy, only 1 in 4 can graduate. As for the later part, let's not talk about it for now. It's too far away. The further you cultivate, the stronger the soul ring you need, and the more dangerous it is to hunt stronger soul beasts. Otherwise, how many people can truly become a titled Douluo? We should be able to count them with one hand. After saying this, Old Jack didn't say anything else. After all, he didn't know much and could only pass on some basic knowledge to the 2 children. As for the rest, it was up to them to figure it out themselves. In the afternoon, the 3 of them had already arrived at Nodding City. You must work hard and become a soul master. When the semester ends, I will hire 2 carriages and personally bring you back, Old Jack said with a smile as they walked into Nodding City. Wang Feng hadn't been to Nodding City before. It was too far, and he was too lazy to travel. Moreover, people from the countryside and city would easily be looked down upon by others. At that time, Wang Feng didn't have any cheat, and the Holy Spirit village was in tatters. Wang Feng couldn't be bothered to come to Nodding City to look for trouble. But now, Wang Feng walked into the city valiantly. He looked around. There were many pedestrians on the streets. The ground was flat, and it was very comfortable to walk on. Although the Holy Spirit village had improved a lot in the past 2 years, the 3 of them were only wearing plain clothes and didn't have gorgeous clothes. Not bad, quite beautiful. Wang Feng shook his head and looked around a few times. He saw a few beautiful young girls. He couldn't help but sigh. Without all kinds of cosmetics, their faces were full of collagen and were pure and natural. It was indeed pleasing to the eye. Wait, I'm here to study, not to look at beautiful girls. Wang Feng coughed a few times and retracted his gaze. But it's not like I'll lose a piece of meat if I look at them. After hesitating for a while, Wang Feng casually looked a few more times and then retracted his gaze. In this cycle, Wang Feng's head tilted left and right. It seemed to be, head, no, I'm here to learn, I don't want to look. Eyes, no, you want to. I feel like my head and eyes are separated, damn it. Chapter 19. After all, Wang Feng's willpower had become much stronger after 4 months of demonic tempering. At this moment, Old Jack brought the 2 of them to the Elementary Soul Master Academy. The tall arched door was made of solid rock, and below it were 2 iron gates, which looked very decent. However, compared to the various buildings Wang Feng had seen in his previous life, it was ordinary. In the center of the arched door were the words, Nodding Academy. It was very similar to an ordinary high school in some N-tier cities in Huaxia. Wang Feng sized it up. At this moment, an enigmatic and somewhat familiar voice rang out. Working student? Which village are you from? Can a small village like yours produce a soul master? There are only earthworms in this small quagmire. Can a true dragon be produced? Do you have proof? Let me take a look. Old Jack's expression changed, and he hurriedly took out the proof and handed it to the 2 guards. After looking at the proof, one of the guards suddenly laughed. Ha ha! Innate full soul power in blue silvergrass, is this fake? Innate full soul power is hard to come by in 100 years. I've been here for a few years, and even the descendants of those aristocrats have never produced an innate full soul power. Can a small village like yours produce an innate full soul power? After speaking, the guard threw the proof to the ground and looked at it with disdain. Old Jack's expression changed again after hearing this. Anger rose in his heart, but he didn't dare to express it. After all, this was Notting Academy. Tang Sen also frowned and looked at the two with a cold gaze. At this moment, old Jack was about to pick up the proof, but Wang Feng suddenly pulled him back. Wang Feng laughed and said, "Poor village?" Wang Feng walked forward and took out a golden soul coin from his bosom. Then, Wang Feng gently tossed the gold soul coin with his hand. When the two guards saw the golden soul coin, their eyes widened in shock. A single gold soul coin was enough for an ordinary family in Notting City to spend for several months. They didn't even have a month's salary. Obediently pick it up for me. Take this gold soul coin as a reward from this young master. Wang Feng said casually, "Our Holy Soul Village has never heard of it. You two dogs have offended our Holy Spirit Village. Don't even think about staying in Notting City." Although he was only 6 years old, he still had an imposing aura as he walked out and tossed gold soul coins in his hand. The two guards looked at each other and saw the confusion in each other's eyes. Gold soul coins weren't something that a child from a remote village could take out. Could it be that these three people were important figures? In addition to the proof of his innate full soul power. Swoosh, 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 the two guards' expressions changed drastically. But there was still some hesitation. At this time, Wang Feng continued to speak loudly. "You two little school guards dare to ignore the certificate issued by the Martial Spirit Palace. I think you want to go against the Martial Spirit Palace. This Notting Academy is really getting more and more powerful. Even two small guards dare to go against the Martial Soul Hall? It seems that we don't need to come to this academy. Xiao San, grandfather, let's go to the Martial Spirit Palace." With that, Wang Feng turned around. This was a label that had been placed on him. The two guards were so scared that their faces turned pale. Go against the Martial Spirit Palace? Even if it was a false name, it was still frightening. Wait, he said to go to the Martial Spirit Palace? Could it be that they were recruited by the Martial Spirit Palace? Then they came to the academy? If they left, and the academy blamed them, they would be done for. Without any hesitation, the two guards hurriedly bent down to pick up the certificate. With a flattering smile on their faces, they walked to Wang Feng and looked at him. At this moment, the two guards already felt that these three people were important figures. The aura of this child's words and actions was even more powerful than those aristocratic children. And the gold soul coins. "Little brother, we were wrong to look down on you just now," the guard hurriedly said with a flattering smile. "Please don't be offended. We don't want to go against the Martial Spirit Palace. There's absolutely no such thing." Seeing this, Tang San and old Jack were both stunned, their hearts filled with doubt. They didn't expect that a few words from Wang Feng could make the two guards change their attitude so much. Isn't this too powerful? Really? Wang Feng didn't seem to care at all. He carefully looked at the gold soul coins in his hand, as if he didn't see the guards at all. But he sneered in his heart. In the original book, these two little guards were the kind of characters that were difficult to deal with. They made things difficult for Grandpa Jack because he didn't take out any gifts. This was somewhat similar to the ways of the world in Huaxia. The little ghosts guarding the door were the most difficult to deal with. Wang Feng remembered very clearly that when these two guards wanted to make a move on old Jack, they were beaten down by Tang San. It wasn't until that person appeared that things were settled. However, Wang Feng didn't want to fight with these two little ghosts. He didn't want to lower his status and let these guards dare to make a move on Grandpa Jack. He wanted to make a move, so he spoke in advance. After all, he was a transmigrator. Couldn't he play these two little ghosts with a little bit of brain? First, he took out the gold soul coins so that these two little guards wouldn't dare to look down on him. Then, he put a big hat on them so that these two people would be frightened and not dare to have the slightest doubt. Moreover, The Holy Soul Village had developed well these years, and it was no longer poor. Wang Feng had saved up some small treasury, although it wasn't much, only a few gold soul coins. It was just that Grandpa Jack was mostly in the village. The people of the Holy Soul Village were simple and honest, so how could they have the twists and turns of the city? Wang Feng turned a deaf ear and only pointed at Grandpa Jack. The guard understood and hurriedly bowed and apologized humbly. "Sir, I'm really sorry. It was our fault just now. I hope you can forgive us." When had old Jack ever seen such a scene? He was just the village chief of a small village. After entering the city, he had lowered his posture. At this moment, seeing the arrogant and disdainful guard apologize to him respectfully, it was unbelievable. He felt that it was inconceivable to the extreme, as if he was dreaming. It's nothing," old Jack said with a red face. Hearing this, the guard hurriedly looked at Wang Feng. "But I'm still a little unhappy now. I want to go back to the martial spirit hall. What should I do?" Wang Feng looked at the two guards with a smile. Seeing this, the two guards quivered. At this moment, their minds were clearly grasped by Wang Feng. The two of them looked at each other, gritted their teeth, and took out a few silver soul coins from their pockets. They handed them to Wang Feng and said with a flattering smile, "What do you think?" Seeing this, Tang San and old Jack sucked in a breath of cold air. Their minds were full of question marks. What's going on? These two guards actually took out silver soul coins and gave them to Xiao San? Isn't this too awesome? Unexpectedly, Wang Feng didn't even look at the few silver soul coins and said coldly, "A few silver soul coins? Are you trying to dismiss a beggar? Do you think I'm short of money? My 2 hours of pocket money isn't even worth this little bit." Old Jack thought to himself, "What do you have pocket money?" However, the two guards' hearts trembled when they heard this. Wang Feng waved his hand at the two of them and casually threw the gold soul coins to them. "Scram! Take these gold soul coins as a reward." Hearing this, the two of them were wild with joy and hurriedly received the gold soul coins. In their hearts, they firmly believed that this kid was definitely a big shot. They definitely couldn't offend him. "Thank you for your reward, young master. If you need anything in the future, just let us know." The two guards spoke in unison and said with incomparable respect. It was as if they were about to kneel down to Wang Feng. Their expressions were as if they were facing their ancestors. Tang San. Old Jack. What a powerful method, Tang San thought silently in his heart. Is Brother Feng really only 6 years old? He's even more powerful than those cunning elders of the Tang sect. Old Jack scratched his head. He still didn't understand. Not far behind, a slender middle-aged man was also watching this scene. There was a hint of astonishment in his eyes. Chapter 20. The middle-aged man slowly walked forward and said in a deep voice, "Wait, the three of you, Nodding Academy, is in the wrong. On behalf of the Academy, I apologize to you." After saying that, the middle-aged man coldly glanced at the two guards. In fact, he had already seen the scene just now. He had originally planned to intervene and help the three of them out of their predicament. Who would have thought? This child who looked only 6 years old was actually so powerful. His methods were sophisticated like a person in his 20s or 30s. At the very back, the two guards wanted to give silver soul coins to the two of them. However, they were directly rejected by the child and even gave a gold soul coin. This was simply a stick and a carrot, bribing the two guards. If anything happened to the Academy in the future, these two guards would probably treat this child as their own father. As for Tang San and old Jack, when they saw this middle-aged man suddenly appear, they couldn't help but be stunned. The two guards were even more submissive and did not dare to say another word. No need, they've already apologized. Old Jack looked at the middle-aged man. Although he looked ordinary and wore a simple gray robe, he had a special temperament. He must be an important figure in the Academy, so he quickly waved his hand. Tang San seriously sized up this middle-aged man. Seeing the two guards' submissive appearance, he seemed to understand, but not quite. The middle-aged man glanced at the certificate and smiled faintly. "You're here to enroll in the Academy, right? Just leave these two kids to me. I'll bring them in." Old Jack quickly nodded and said, then I'll have to trouble you. Thus, old Jack reminded Wang Feng and Tang San a few times. Wang Feng narrowed his eyes slightly and looked at the middle-aged man. If nothing went wrong, he should be the master. His full name was Yu Xiaojiang, an extremely important person in the Douluo continent. He was also the teacher of Little San's life. He was very important to Little San in the early stages. Wang Feng sized up the master, and the master was also sizing up Wang Feng. With sharp gaze. The master's heart trembled. This child's gaze gave him a strange pressure, as if he could see through him. But thinking about it, it might be because he did not rest well these few days and was a little absent-minded. How could a child see through him? However, innate full soul power and the azure lotus martial spirit? I've never heard of the azure lotus martial spirit. How could a plant-shaped martial soul possess innate full soul power? Could it be twin martial souls? Just like that kid with the blue-silver grass martial soul? Grandmaster thought to himself. The so-called azure lotus martial spirit. Su Yuntao told Wang Feng to come up with a name for the flower because it was an unknown flower. At that time, Wang Feng pretended to be hesitant, not knowing what to choose. Therefore, Tang San directly made up a story. Thus, the cyan lotus flower was not chosen by Wang Feng. Instead, it was chosen by Tang San. Su Yuntao naturally agreed. After old Jack warned them, he left. Wang Feng and Tang San followed the master inside. Sorry to trouble you, teacher, Tang San said. The master smiled and waved his hand. I'm not a teacher. I'm just an idle person in the academy. You can call me master. Everyone else calls him that. Not a teacher. Tang San was stunned and then quickly said, Then you must be a very powerful person. Oh, why do you say that? The master asked curiously. That's because only a very powerful person deserves the title master, right? Moreover, you can represent the academy, which means you have a high status in the academy. Tang San said seriously, Although you're not a teacher in this academy, you must be more powerful than the teachers in this academy. After hearing that, the middle-aged man laughed loudly. Wang Feng touched his head. Sure enough, the path of history and the fate of meeting each other. Tang San and the master would eventually meet. However, Little San's flattery was not bad. He said it in a serious manner, but he probably didn't even know that he was flattering. This was the most powerful thing about him. You can't call me teacher casually. The master said with a smile, Do you have innate full soul power? At this point, the master's eyes flashed. Twin martial souls. You have a promising future. I'm just an idle person in the academy. I don't have the ability to be your teacher. Tang San was stunned when he heard that. Wang Fengxin sighed slightly. The master's insight was indeed extraordinary. He was a transmigrator and had seen the Douluo continent. He knew that Little San had twin martial souls. This master was not him, and he didn't have X-ray vision. He didn't have God's perspective. He could see through Little San's secret with just a theoretical analysis. It was already very impressive. No, you definitely have the ability. Tang San was silent for a moment and suddenly said solemnly, I'm willing to call you my teacher. Oh, why? The master asked. Because you can see that I have twin martial souls. I think that no teacher in the entire Elementary Soul Master Academy can see it. Tang San said slowly, Are you willing to teach me martial soul cultivation? This was the result of Tang San's careful consideration. Only his father knew about twin martial souls. This mysterious middle-aged man could see through it with just a few words. It was incredible. Just based on this point, Tang San felt that this master was not simple. The master smiled again. Good. After so many years, you're the first one who is willing to be my disciple. Forget it, then I will be stubborn for a while. Your name is Tang San, right? Do you know why I can see that you have twin martial souls? Tang San thought for a moment and shook his head. How could he know this kind of thing? The master suddenly looked at Wang Feng and said, I wonder if you know that this little friend also has twin martial souls? Hearing this, Tang San was shocked. Brother Feng also has twin martial souls? Tang San looked at Brother Feng in shock. Could it be that Brother Feng really has another martial soul? Me? Wang Feng smiled. To be honest, if the master had analyzed Tang San's twin martial souls, then the master, was purely guessing by analogy. Needless to say, he really guessed it right. He did have a humanoid martial soul, but he didn't know it. I guess it's because you've seen the certificate. Wang Feng pointed to the certificate in his hand and said lightly, "It must be because you are curious about the two trash martial souls in this certificate, but have innate full soul power, so you guessed it, right? As for how you guessed it, I don't know." Wang Feng really didn't know how he guessed it. After all, he had forgotten most of the settings of the Douluo continent. He only remembered the general story and characters. Who would still remember the detailed settings of a novel many years after reading it? Wang Feng couldn't remember. It was just that he remembered the various pretentious plots, the beautiful girls, and the awesome and powerful martial spirits in the story very clearly. Wang Feng only saw that the master just glanced at the certificate a few times, so he guessed it. However, when the master heard this, his heart was suddenly shocked. This child can actually observe so carefully? I just glanced at it a few times? He could infer the reason why I saw the twin martial souls. Chapter 21. Certificate. Tang San hadn't reacted yet. That's right. It's the certificate. The master smiled. This little friend is also very smart. I did speculate from the certificate I gave you. I once investigated more than 671 people with a blue-silver grass martial soul. Among them, only 16 had soul power, less than 3%. Moreover, none of them exceeded the first level of soul power. According to one of the 10 core competencies of martial souls, innate soul power is directly proportional to the quality of the martial soul. Blue-silver grass is obviously not compatible, so you must have another martial soul in your body. Of course, I know you want to say that everything is an exception. Your blue-silver grass is obviously not an exception. In the past 100 years, only 2 people with twin martial souls have appeared in the 2 empires, but there are 19 with innate full soul power. All of them are powerful existences, and some have even reached the soul grandmaster realm. 4 of them were not of noble birth, but they also had innate full soul power, and this situation was because of a mutated martial soul. But your blue-silver grass doesn't have a mutated martial soul, so I'm sure you have twin martial souls. The master slowly finished and looked at Xiao San. Tang San was stunned by what he had said, but Wang Feng secretly thought that this theory only applied to people from the Douluo continent. It didn't apply to people outside the Douluo continent. For example, Tang San and himself. The master believed that Tang San had twin martial souls, which was why he had innate full soul power. But in fact, Tang San's twin martial souls was inherited from his parents. The main reason for his innate full soul power was because of cultivating the mysterious heaven method. Otherwise, Tang San's inner strength wouldn't have been guided by the awakened strength and become proficient in the light ball that tested soul power. Immediately after, the master explained the theory of mutated martial souls to Tang San. After saying that, Tang San directly knelt on the ground and kowtowed to acknowledge his master. Wang Feng watched quietly. He did not stop them, nor did he follow them. Xiao San had his own path, and the master was indeed his best choice in the early stage. But he had his own path. Brother Feng, do you want to be apprenticed? I believe that the master can help us cultivate our martial souls. Tang San asked after being helped up by the master. The master also looked at Wang Feng with a smile. He was actually more curious about what kind of martial spirit this mysterious azure lotus martial spirit was. Grandmaster never believed in the concept of a useless martial soul, only a suitable martial soul. No need. Wang Feng shook his head and said, "The master is very powerful, but he can't help me." Hearing this, Tang San frowned. The grandmaster didn't mind. Although this child was extremely intelligent and had a unique temperament, he didn't seem like someone from a village or a noble family. However, when it came to martial souls, it was unlikely that he would have a better understanding of martial souls than him. How about this? I'll personally introduce you to a teacher. The grandmaster still looked at Wang Feng with admiration. This child had his own choice, so he naturally couldn't say anything. After all, you have innate full soul power. Your first soul ring will require a mentor to help you kill soul beasts. Tang San also nodded. Old Jack also said that he needed a mentor to help him kill his first soul ring. However, Wang Feng still shook his head and said, "Thank you, Grandmaster, but for my soul ring, I'll make the decision. I want to hunt soul beasts by myself and get my first soul ring." Hearing this, Tang San was stunned. The Grandmaster was also stunned. Hunt soul beasts by himself? Brother Feng, soul beasts are very dangerous. I know your physical fitness is very strong. Lien Su. Tang San wanted to say that although Brother Feng could even fight with Su Yuntao, it was a draw. But in fact, Master Su used his soul skill, and you were almost defeated in a second. It would be very dangerous to hunt soul beasts, even for Master Su, right? Not to mention a 6-year-old kid like you. The Grandmaster was a little surprised. My soul ring, I'll make the decision. Hunt soul beasts by myself. Was this really something a 6-year-old child would say? In fact, Wang Feng had more shocking words that he didn't say. He still wanted to hunt a 1,000-year soul beast. If he said it, the Grandmaster and Tang San would probably think he was crazy, so Wang Feng didn't say it. You have to think carefully. The Grandmaster frowned and said, "Soul beasts are not ordinary beasts. The strength of soul beasts is far beyond your imagination. The first soul ring is extremely important to a soul master. You may not know much about soul rings. Even if you are lucky and can hunt a soul beast, I'm afraid it will be a very young soul ring." With that, the Grandmaster looked at Wang Feng and saw that the child's eyes were incomparably firm. He suddenly sighed softly, knowing that the child had made up his mind. The Grandmaster was too familiar with that kind of gaze. After a few seconds of silence, the Grandmaster took a deep breath, shook his head, and sighed. Well, you try to think about it as much as possible. It's better to first understand the knowledge about soul rings and soul beasts. If there is something you don't understand, you can ask me. If I have any questions about soul beasts or martial souls. He really appreciated this child. That was why he said such words. If it were someone else, he would be too lazy to say a word. Wang Feng grinned and said, "Thank you very much, Grandmaster. I just want to use these few days to learn about soul beasts and soul rings." The Grandmaster nodded. This was part of Elementary Soul Master Academy's curriculum. The Grandmaster then led the two of them to the Academic Affairs office to register as students, collect their uniforms, and arrange their dormitory. Tang San's dormitory was on the 7th floor, and it was full when he was assigned. This is a bit troublesome. Wang Feng, the 7th dormitory, is full. Dean Su of the Academic Affairs office looked at Wang Feng with a troubled expression. Wang Feng naturally knew about the 7th dormitory. It was a dormitory for working students, and the conditions there were terrible. "Director Su, let's change it to something else," Wang Feng said. "You think I'll change it just because you say so?" Director Su looked at Wang Feng, speechless. Right now, the only dormitories with empty beds are the noble children's dormitories. You're just a working student. How can we arrange for you to stay there? Wang Feng couldn't help but laugh. "Why not? I already said that you're a working student. You don't have the right to stay in those dormitories. Academy rules forbid it." Director Su said impatiently. "Is that so?" Wang Feng fished out a gold soul coin and picked at his ear. "Say that again." Director Su stared blankly at the gold soul coin. He coughed a few times and said, "Actually, you can consider it. That's the spirit." Wang Feng tossed the gold soul coin onto Director Su's desk. "Director Su, why is there a gold soul coin on your desk?" Director Su was taken aback. Hiss. Director Su sucked in a breath of cold air. Why does this kid seem more familiar with this than me? However, he still hurriedly caught the gold soul coin and said in a serious tone, "Cough, cough. That's enough. Kid, you're doing well. You have a bright future ahead of you. Go to the 6th room of the dormitory. I'll tell the teachers to arrange it for you when the time comes." Wang Feng took the uniform and left with a smile on his face. Not long after Wang Feng left. That kid is asking for humiliation. He's just a working student. Does he think he can go to the 6th dormitory just because he has some money? A young man in the room sneered. And his companion. That Grandmaster is his teacher. What does he mean by invincible theory? Bullshit. And what does he mean by martial souls being one of the top 10 core competencies? Ridiculous. Director Sue glared at the young man. The Grandmaster is the Dean's friend. Don't judge him. After all, the Grandmaster is a famous figure in the martial spirit world. He's stronger than you. The young man smiled embarrassedly and continued. But that kid wants to go to the 6th dormitory? He doesn't know his place. If he goes there, won't he be treated like a cat or dog by those nobles who are naturally stronger than working students? He's asking for humiliation, and he even took out a gold soul coin just to suffer. I really don't understand these little brats. Director Sue did not say anything as she thought to herself. If this kid goes to the 6th dormitory, he'll probably be taught a lesson. Chapter 22. After Wang Feng and Tang Xin walked out, they headed straight for the dormitory. Big bro Feng, let's go to the cafeteria for lunch after we're done. Tang San said at the entrance of the dormitory. Sure. Wang Feng nodded. Tang San led the way to the dormitory. The dormitory had 3 floors. There were a total of 7 rooms for students to live in. Lu Shi happened to be on the 2nd floor. As soon as Wang Feng reached the entrance, he heard several voices. Big Bro Xiao, the teacher in charge of Lu Shi, said a working student was assigned to our dormitory. A working student? Aren't working students supposed to live in Liuxia's pigsty? Why is he assigned to our dormitory? Isn't that good? We'll have 1 less person to serve us tea, wash our clothes, and mop the floor. We'll have this working student do our chores for free. Isn't that perfect? What if he doesn't like it? Not like it? He's just a working student. How can he not like it? Beat him until he calls me daddy. Big Bro Xiao, I saw a pretty lowly when I came in. Let's go play with her tomorrow. Hee. All sorts of chatter could be heard in the dormitory. Hearing this, Wang Feng frowned and lifted his foot. Bang! He kicked the door open. The door, made of semi-steel, slammed into the wall behind it with a loud bang. In an instant, the children in the dormitory were all dumbfounded. The children ranged from 7 to 12 years old. They were both boys and girls, and they were all dressed in luxurious robes. It was obvious that they came from wealthy families. At this moment, everyone was silent as they stared at Wang Feng outside the door with their mouths agape. I'm that working student. Who was the one who said he'd beat me until I called him daddy? Wang Feng looked around and said with a smile. The children in the dormitory immediately reacted. Their dazed expressions turned to anger. How dare this working student be so arrogant? Kid, are you from the countryside? The leader of the group, the tallest boy, looked at Wang Feng. Although his face was angry, it was filled with mockery and contempt. Do you know the rules? Do you know who's in charge of Lu Shi? Do you know what grade I'm in? It was as if he had asked 3 questions in a row. This boy was quite handsome and looked to be about 11 or 12 years old. Wang Feng could tell at a glance that this child should be the boss of the Lu Shi group. He was also the boss Xiao that this group of children spoke of. The boy looked at Wang Feng arrogantly. Boss Xiao, don't waste your breath on him. He's just a working student, yet he dares to kick down our door? Let me teach him a lesson. After saying that, the boy walked out and looked at Wang Feng with a ferocious expression. Lu Long, be gentle. Boss Xiao sneered and instructed, don't cripple him. Our dormitory's dirty and tiring work will depend on him in the future. Don't worry, Boss Xiao. I know what I'm doing. The boy named Lu Long revealed a smug smile. The other children in the dormitory also started to laugh. Looking at Wang Feng, it was as if he could see the pitiful expression on that stupid working student's face as he begged for mercy. Brat, I'll take your life. Lu Long, don't beat up nameless people. Lu Long's body trembled slightly, and a yellow light lit up. A staff that was close to 2 meters long appeared in his hand. This was his martial spirit. Trash, you talk too much nonsense. Wang Feng raised his middle finger and made a provocative gesture. Although these people didn't know what this gesture meant, they were innately angered by it. Lu Long's expression changed. He lightly leapt into the air and smashed towards Wang Feng. The staff drew a yellow line in the air and was about to land on Wang Feng's body. If it landed, there would be no shortage of bruises. Seeing this scene, the children in the dormitory laughed even louder. Only Boss Xiao frowned slightly. This Lu Long was so ruthless. The working student was scared silly. What if something happened? However, in the next moment, Wang Feng made his move. In the blink of an eye, his right hand swiftly shot out like an eagle's claw grabbing its prey, and his 5 fingers directly grabbed onto Lu Long's rod martial soul. Lu Long was startled. His entire body froze in place. At the same time, Wang Feng's left foot paused. Whoosh! Like a phantom, his foot landed on Lu Long's lower abdomen. Ugh! Lu Long's face turned the color of pig liver. His body was like a cooked prawn. The intense pain caused cold sweat to appear on his forehead. At this moment, Wang Feng's right hand let go of the staff. With a bang, Lu Long was sent flying and landed on the ground. The battle ended very quickly. In the blink of an eye, Lu Long was defeated. Before the children could figure out what was going on, they saw a blur before their eyes, and Lu Long was sent flying back. With this little strength, you want me to serve you tea? Wang Feng looked at the children in the dormitory and laughed. Sorry, if I don't beat you until you call me Daddy, I'll be Wang Feng. Hearing this, the children in the dormitory had a huge change in expression. Suddenly, a figure darted out from behind the children. His entire body was like an eagle that had spread its wings and soared high into the sky. His legs were slightly bent, and his limbs were spread out like claws. He directly attacked Wang Feng. His speed was extremely fast. It was much faster than Lu Long's attack. It's Ling Feng. His martial spirit is Shadow Crow. Among us, besides Boss Xiao, he's the strongest. A pretty girl with a few freckles on her face exclaimed. Ling Feng's speed was extremely fast, almost as soon as Wang Feng spoke. By the time Wang Feng finished speaking, Ling Feng had already closed in on him. Wang Feng sneered. His body leaned slightly to the side, and his right shoulder met Ling Feng's claws. He didn't dodge and was directly caught by Ling Feng. Then, he turned his body and took advantage of the incoming force. He used the method of leveraging force that he had learned from the hammering skills to quietly divert the force. Then, he shifted his body from his right shoulder to his left shoulder. With his waist as the axis, he quickly threw a punch at Ling Feng's chest. Bang! Wang Feng's speed was even faster than Lu Long's martial spirit, Shadow Crow, which was known for its speed. This punch landed directly on Ling Feng's chest. Bang! Ling Feng's entire body flew out in the same posture as Lu Long before crashing to the ground. In an instant, the dormitory fell silent. Each and every one of them stared at the working student in shock. They had never imagined that 2 of the strongest fighters in the dormitory would be defeated so easily. Wasn't it too easy? Even Boss Xiao, who had a soul ring, couldn't do it so easily. Wang Feng slowly walked in through the door. Then he hooked the door with his right foot and slammed it shut with a bang. This sound seemed to strike the hearts of the children in the dormitory. Thump! Many of the children gulped. Apart from Boss Xiao, they all took a step back. Kid, don't be too proud. Boss Xiao, who was the calmest among them, stood up and coldly stared at Wang Feng. Chapter 23. A real soul master with a soul ring. As soon as he said that, all the children in the room looked at Xiao Qinyu. Their faces were filled with excitement. Ling Feng and Lu Long also stood up. They either covered their stomachs or their chests and walked to the back with cold smiles on their faces. There was no problem with Xiao Qinyu's help. However, Wang Feng still stood in the same place. He smiled and said, your father, don't want to repeat the same words twice. Xiao Qinyu flew into a rage when he heard that. This kid is too arrogant. A mere working student had relied on his strength to defeat Lu Long and Ling Feng, who had no soul rings. How dare he look down on him? Xiao Qinyu, 6th rank student, Wolf Martial Soul, rank 11, 1 ring soul master. Xiao Qinyu said coldly, report your martial soul and rank. This is the rule. Wang Feng smiled coolly and said, my martial soul is the Azure Lotus. Its rank is innate full soul power. I don't have a rank or a soul ring. Wang Feng waved his hand, and a beautiful azure lotus appeared in his palm. Only after becoming a soul master and registering at the Martial Soul Hall could one have a soul ring and rank. Therefore, Wang Feng didn't have a rank or a soul ring. Innate full soul power? Boss, he has innate full soul power? In an instant, everyone in the room was shocked. They all looked at Wang Feng in shock. Innate full soul power. Even if they had eaten pork, they had seen pigs run. They didn't expect to meet him here. No wonder he's so arrogant. So he has innate full soul power. Lu Long sneered. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a rank or a soul ring. I've never heard of this Azure Lotus Martial Soul. It must be some trash martial soul. It's just good looking. Most plant martial souls have no fighting power. Yes, Boss is not afraid of him. He doesn't even have a soul ring. How can he fight Boss? When Boss Wolf's soul comes out later, he'll definitely be beaten down. Ling Feng said in agreement. Everyone cheered him on. Xiao Qinyu was also shocked by Wang Feng's innate full soul power. This kid didn't even have a soul ring. Although he had innate full soul power, it was just a plant martial soul. What was there to be afraid of? Wang Feng didn't seem to intend to use his martial soul. Instead, he put away. Seeing this, Xiao Qinyu was even more confident. He thought to himself, this kid definitely knows that his martial spirit is useless to me. So he kept it. He had no idea that Wang Feng was too lazy to use his martial spirit to deal with him. Xiao Qinyu sneered and let out a low growl. A white soul ring appeared under his feet. Then, a wolf-shaped martial soul rose from his back and attached itself to his body. Suddenly, his eyes glowed with a green light. His claws began to become sharp and sharp. It was the martial spirit possession. Wang Feng glanced at him and curled his lips. What kind of trash soul ring is this? It's only a 10-year soul ring. Although Wang Feng couldn't remember most of the settings of the Douluo continent clearly, he still remembered them. However, his soul ring still had some influence. He remembered that the lowest rank soul ring was a white one, a 10-year soul ring. It was also the most trashy. Xiao Qinyu was speechless. You're a working student who doesn't even have a soul ring. How dare you mock me? All of a sudden, Xiao Qinyu was enraged. He gathered power in his claws and charged at Wang Feng. He threw a punch at Wang Feng. Xiao Qinyu was confident that as long as this punch landed, this lad would definitely be knocked down. However, Wang Feng shook his head. This time, he did not use any technique. Instead, he bent his legs slightly, as if he was in a horse stance, and threw a punch. Boom! With this punch, Xiao Qinyu was sent flying in the air in an instant. He smashed into the wall. Fortunately, the quality of the rooms in the 6th dormitory was good, so they were not smashed. However, the entire dormitory shook. Xiao Qinyu fell to the ground, his mind in a daze. He struggled to get up. Unexpectedly at this time, a figure walked in front of him, stepped on his side, and said indifferently, "You're right. Do you want to be beaten up again? Call me Daddy. Or do you want to be a good boy and call me Daddy?" Xiao Qinyu shuddered. Looking at his limp fist, Xiao Qinyu recalled the power of that punch and felt an inexplicable sense of fear. This working student seems like I can't beat him. After saying that, Wang Feng looked at the others. Suddenly, the rest of the children came to their senses. They retreated a few steps and looked at Wang Feng with flushed faces. Forget it. I don't have such weak sons like you. Wang Feng waved his hand. From now on, I am the boss of the 6th dormitory. Do you have any objections? No. You're the new boss of the 6th dormitory from now on. Boss, you are so cool. The children didn't dare to have any more objections from the men. Lu Long and Ling Feng were even more agitated. They vacated the best beds in the dormitory. The beds were close to the windows and had a good view of the campus outside. Boss, if you need anything in the future, just let us know. Lu Long and Ling Feng chuckled. Wang Feng shook his head. After all, they were still children. Whoever was stronger would be their boss. Xiao Qinyu also stood up and stared at Wang Feng for a while. Wang Feng felt a chill run down his spine. Only then did he say in a serious tone, I, Xiao Qinyu, am willing to respect you as my boss. Goosebumps rose all over Wang Feng's body. What a fool. That's enough. Don't mess with me in the future. Don't worry, I won't beat you up. Wang Feng yawned and pointed at the beds. Put down the blankets. Let's go eat in the cafeteria. Wang Feng was a little hungry after all the ruckus. With that, Wang Feng walked out of the door and headed for the cafeteria. Brother Xiao, our boss seems to be very strong, Ling Feng whispered. He defeated us without using his martial soul. Maybe that's what innate, full soul power means. Xiao Qinyu said, I just realized that our boss is so cool. The little girl with freckles said excitedly. Hearing this, the other children curled their lips. I'm the most handsome one, they thought. Yes, in every child's heart, I'm the most handsome one. After Wang Feng left, a teacher and a young man walked in. Teacher Yuhi, if that working student gets beaten up too badly later, don't give him the cleaning job. The young man sighed. Director Su is so poor that he dares to let a working student into the sixth house for only 1 gold soul coin. With just Lu Shi and those naughty and arrogant little fellows, wouldn't that brat be beaten up so badly that he wouldn't be able to get up? If something happens, the school will have a hard time explaining it. Okay. The teacher named Yuhi nodded. The two walked into the sixth house. The young man glanced around and frowned. Xiao Qinyu, where's that working student called Wang Feng? Yuhi, who was in charge of the sixth house, looked gloomy. Did you beat him up? Where is he? Hearing this, Xiao Qinyu and the others looked at each other. We didn't. He's going to be the boss of the sixth house. Chapter 24. Whoosh. Hearing this, the young man and Yuhi were stunned. Boss. Yes. We reserved the best bed for boss. Lu Long and Ling Feng pointed at the bed and said. The young man and Yuhi were even more confused. It didn't seem to be fake. How did he do it? Yuhi looked at the young man. The young man looked embarrassed and curious. I don't know. However, he was incomparably shocked in his heart. The strength and status of Xiao Qinyu and his companions were not simple. How could it be possible that he could become their leader without impressing them? At this time, Wang Feng slowly came to the cafeteria. He happened to meet Tang San at the door. There was also a pretty and cute little girl standing beside him. The little girl's face was fair and rosy, with a healthy glow. Her clothes were simple but very neat. Her long hair was combed into a long scorpion braid that fell to her hips. At this time, she was talking softly with Tang San. Behind them were a few people from the 7th school. Brother Feng. Seeing Wang Feng come over, Tang San immediately smiled and waved. His shout immediately caused the little girl's gaze to fall on Wang Feng. This should be Xiao Wu, right? Wang Feng looked at the pretty and cute little girl and couldn't help but sigh. She was so young. As the future wife of Xiao Wu, to be honest, Wang Feng didn't like Xiao Wu in the original work. The reason was simple. He liked big girls. Therefore, Wang Feng didn't have any intention of seducing Xiao Wu. Moreover, Wang Fengxin had read novels and cartoons on the Douluo continent. He felt that it would be weird to seduce Xiao Wu. After all, she was Xiao Wu's wife. Xiao Wu and Xiao Wu had a daughter. Snatch his wife? Wang Feng sweated at the thought of it. There were a lot of beautiful single girls on the Douluo continent. Wang Feng did more than that. Besides, he really liked big girls. He wasn't interested in small girls. You are Brother Feng? Xiao Wu looked at Wang Feng with watery eyes and said, Xiao Wu told me that you are from the same village. He also said that I defeated Xiao Wu, and he said that there was someone stronger than him. Is it someone called Brother Feng? Tang Sin looked embarrassed. It was indeed embarrassing to be defeated by a girl. It was mainly because he did not have much experience, and it was also the first time that Tang Sin had interacted with a girl. That's me. Wang Feng nodded. Then I want to have a fight with you after dinner. Xiao Wu said with a grin. I don't want to fight you. Wang Feng shook his head. He knew that Xiao Wu's true form was a soul beast, the soft-bone rabbit. In the early days, he especially liked to fight and bully Tang San. However, he really wasn't interested. Why? Xiao Wu was stunned and snorted. Don't tell me you're afraid of a girl like me. That's not it. Wang Feng shook his head. It's mainly because you can't defeat me. Tang San quickly chimed in. Xiao Wu, Big Brother Feng, is very strong. He can even... You really can't beat him. He wanted to say that Big Brother Feng could go toe-to-toe with the level 26 Master Su. Xiao was no match for him. However, when Xiao Wu heard Tang San's words, she was even more unconvinced. We haven't even fought. How do you know? I don't care. I'm a girl, and I want to challenge you. Big Brother Feng, you have to fight me. Xiao Wu had a very strong competitive spirit. It would be better to say that all children had a strong desire to win. Even for someone like Tang San, a transmigrator who had a grown man hidden in his body, he still had a competitive heart. Wang Feng smiled and said, "Okay, I'll fight you when you have a soul ring." You said it. Xiao Wu's eyes lit up. She had innate, full soul power. When she went back, "Let's eat." Wang Feng rubbed his belly. After the discussion, the group went to the cafeteria and had a sumptuous lunch. Halfway through, Master Su came to see Tang San, which attracted the attention of the working students in Tang San's dormitory. Master Su's name was very famous in the academy. "Tang San, you want to take Master Su as your master?" One of the working students, Wang Sheng, couldn't help but ask. You have to think carefully. Master Su's soul power is only at rank 29, and his martial soul is very weak. He's almost 50, but he still hasn't broken through to Soul Grandmaster. I'm afraid he has no hope. He's friends with the dean, so he's eating and drinking at the academy. Shut up. Tang Sin glared at him. If you say that again, I'll really beat you up. After saying that, he stood up and walked out alone. Wang Feng shook his head. After all, these people were just ordinary working students, not transmigrators. It was normal for them to say something like that. On the other hand, Xiao Wu looked at Tang San with sparkling eyes. After finishing his meal, Wang Feng went to the academy's library. He wanted to look up all sorts of information regarding soul beasts. Wang Feng stayed in the library for the rest of the day, forgetting to eat and sleep as he read through all kinds of information. There wasn't much information, and the records weren't very detailed. He didn't know as much as Master Su or the other instructors. But Wang Feng didn't need to know too much. He only needed to know the species and age of soul beasts. The next day, Tang San followed Master Su out of the academy. Wang Feng knew that they were going to the soul hunting forest 400 kilometers northeast of Notting City. It was where the Empire reared soul beasts. Master Su was probably going to hunt a soul beast for Tang San to obtain his first soul ring. On this day, Wang Feng also went out. However, he didn't go to the soul hunting forest. Instead, he went to the martial spirit hall. There were only a few thousand-year soul beasts in the soul hunting forest, but Wang Feng still wanted to take a look. But to enter, he needed a warrant from the martial spirit hall. Wang Feng didn't have a warrant, so he had to go to the martial spirit hall and ask Su Yuntao for one. Notting City's martial spirit hall was much more magnificent than the Holy Soul Village. The entire building was brown, and there was a majestic sword engraved on the door. There were 3 floors in total. Little friend, this is the martial spirit hall. You can't just barge in. A guard at the door said sternly, I'm looking for Master Su Yuntao. Is he here? If he is, go and report to him that a kid named Wang Feng is here to look for him. Wang Feng said. Hearing this, the guard looked at Wang Feng in surprise and frowned, but he still did as he was told. Su Yuntao, you're just a kid. Why are you looking for him? At this moment, a girl suddenly came forward and looked at Wang Feng in surprise. This girl was tall and voluptuous, and she was quite pretty. She looked about the same age as Su Yuntao. I want a warrant. Wang Feng looked at her and didn't know who she was. He said casually, I'm going to the Soul Beast Forest to hunt soul beasts. Wang Feng had just finished speaking. The girl couldn't help but laugh. Just a little kid like you? You want to hunt soul beasts too? You want Su Yuntao to help you, right? He doesn't have the time to help a little kid like you hunt soul beasts. With that, the girl walked in with a smile. Wang Feng. Not long after, Su Yuntao walked out and stared at Wang Feng with a strange look. Brat, you really came. Come in. Why are you looking for me? Wang Feng repeated the words he had said to the woman earlier. Su Yuntao looked at Wang Feng speechlessly. I was wondering who Cece was talking about. So it's you, kid. I can give you the warrant, but you have to think carefully. At this point, Su Yuntao suddenly smiled. Chapter 25. Su Yintao looked at Wang Feng. This child had innate full soul power, but his martial soul wasn't outstanding. The two of them were equal, so he wasn't worthy of being invited to join the martial spirit palace. But what really caught Su Yuntao's attention was his strength. A 6-year-old child was able to use his martial soul to possess his body and use a soul skill to suppress him. Su Yintao didn't know if other people with innate full soul power were like this. After all, other than this kid and the one with the blue-silver grass martial soul, Su Yintao hadn't seen other people with innate full soul power. But the strength of this kid with innate full soul power made Su Yintao admire him. However, Wang Feng shook his head and said with a smile, "No need. I just want to hunt soul beasts myself. Join the martial spirit palace?" Wang Feng didn't think it was necessary. With what he had now, if he couldn't hunt soul beasts himself, how could he rely on others to do it for him? That was too weak. Moreover, Wang Feng wanted to train himself through hunting soul beasts. Anyway, he had the meteoric tear. As long as he had a breath, he wouldn't die. If he didn't have the meteoric tear, perhaps Wang Feng would choose to join a force. But there was no need for that now. Also, Master Su, I'm already at the 10th rank and need a soul ring to advance. According to the rules, your martial spirit palace should give me a token. Wang Feng said with a smile. As long as a soul master's strength reached the peak of a rank and needed a soul ring to advance, they could find a token from the martial spirit palace and enter the soul hunting forest to hunt soul beasts. He looked for Su Yintao because this token needed someone to guarantee it. Su Yintao frowned. This kid was a bit too confident. Did he want to help him? But he didn't appreciate it and insisted on hunting soul beasts himself. If you don't give me the token, I won't tell you the story of soul shattering the heavens. Wang Feng continued. Hearing this, Su Yuntao's face darkened. He snorted and searched his chest before taking out a token and handing it to Wang Feng. Here, kid. If you get hurt later, don't come looking for me. The token streaked across the air and was accurately caught by Wang Feng. Taking a closer look, he saw that the token was pitch black, and the image of a sharp sword facing downward was engraved in the middle. Although this is the lowest level of command medallion, you better not lose it. Otherwise, it'll be very troublesome. Su Yintao instructed. Also, you need to return them to the martial spirit palace after you're done with them. However, Su Yintao felt that when this kid went to the martial spirit palace, he would be scared back. Once he witnessed the prowess of soul beasts, he would definitely come back to beg him. No problem. Wang Feng touched the heavy token and carried his backpack. After preparing some simple food and water, he headed straight for the soul hunting forest. It was morning now. Perhaps it would be afternoon by the time he reached the soul hunting forest. Since they might have to spend the night in the soul hunting forest, they naturally had to prepare more. This brat. Su Yintao shook his head, turned around, and walked back to the martial spirit palace. Wang Feng had originally wanted to hire a carriage, but after thinking about it, he decided not to do so. Instead, he continued to run without stopping. 7 to 8 hours later, Wang Feng arrived at the market outside the soul hunting forest. How lively! As Wang Feng looked at the market outside, he recalled the various shops and businesses that gathered outside the train station in his previous life. There was an inexplicable sense of familiarity. I have a token. 5 missing. Looking for a recovery-type soul master with a large amount of healing power. Rank 20 and above. Super strength-type soul master. Elephant martial soul. Thick skin and tough body. Looking for a team. I'm an auxiliary-type soul master. My martial soul is the green hat. It can provide strong protection. Anyone want it? Hey, do you want to take a look at my martial soul? Okay. Green hat? Get out of my way. Wang Feng. He looked around. This lively scene made him feel like he was dreaming of his previous life. The prices of the things here were similarly exorbitant. Little 3 should be looking for a martial soul with the Grandmaster, right? Wang Feng thought for a moment and walked straight to the wall-like entrance of the soul hunting forest. There were also guards patrolling the surroundings. When he reached the entrance, Wang Feng took out the token and handed it to the guard. Little friend, Are you alone? The guard frowned. You're so young. Do you really want to go in? If you don't have an elder accompanying you, you'll be in danger. If something happens inside, no one can take responsibility. Wang Feng nodded. Just me. Let me in. The guard returned the token to Wang Feng and opened the door without saying anything else. Boom, boom, boom. The 10-meter-tall steel door slowly opened. A unique aura of the forest came out. Countless towering trees, strange flowers, and strange fruits appeared in front of Wang Feng's eyes. Wang Feng took a deep breath and put away the token before walking in. This is the soul-hunting forest. Wang Feng's blood was boiling. Walking through the dense foliage of the forest, Wang Feng felt a little excited. There were several paths that had been trodden by others. 1,000-year soul beast. I'm coming, Wang Feng muttered. 1,000-year soul beast was at least as strong as a rank 40 soul master. To Wang Feng, hunting a soul beast of this level was tantamount to ascending to the heavens. It was almost impossible. Even for those geniuses from the big clans, no one dared to hunt a 1,000-year soul beast when they weren't even a rank 10 soul master. Just as Wang Feng entered the soul-hunting forest. On the other side of the soul-hunting forest, Little San, according to my theory, the limit of a rank 10 soul master's first soul ring is about a 400-year soul ring. The Grandmaster brought Tang San into the soul-hunting forest. Therefore, this time, we have to try our best to find a soul beast close to this value. Furthermore, you have innate full soul power, so you can't waste this talent. Tang San nodded and touched the jade belt on his waist. He sighed in his heart. The Grandmaster is really good to me. He even gave me such a soul tool as a gift. I can't let him down. 24 moonlit bridges. This was the name Tang San gave to the jade belt. This lone bamboo has 10 years of cultivation. Its specialty is its toughness, which is more suitable for your blue-silver grass martial soul. However, this is far from enough. The Grandmaster patted the emerald green lone bamboo in front of him. Along the way, the Grandmaster had explained a lot of knowledge about soul beasts, soul rings, and age to Tang San in detail. Let's look for a while more. We should be spending the night here, the Grandmaster continued. Okay. Tang San seemed to think of something and suddenly asked, Grandmaster, if Brother Feng wants to hunt martial souls by himself, how many years can he hunt? Hearing this, the Grandmaster was startled. After thinking for a moment, he shook his head and said, It's very difficult. If he can hunt 100-year soul beast by himself, it's already very difficult. If it's 200, 300, or even 400 years, even an attack type, rank 30 soul warrior would have a certain degree of risk. You told me before that he's very strong. However, I haven't seen it with my own eyes. Perhaps about 100 years. This should be his limit. Don't worry. I will help you find a suitable martial soul. The Grandmaster's cold face revealed a trace of a smile. After all, this is the only way to show the usefulness of teacher. Tang San felt that the Grandmaster's words were quite reasonable. If Brother Feng wanted to hunt soul beasts by himself, 100 years would be his limit, and his life would be in danger. Wealth comes from danger. Tang San sighed slightly. The stronger the soul ring, the more dangerous it would be. At the same time, in a corner of the soul-hunting forest, boom! In the dense forest, a loud noise suddenly sounded. An emerald green, 5-meter-long, giant snake landed on the ground with a loud crash. The snake's body seemed to be swaying unwillingly. 5 meters long, it should be a 500-year-old mandala snake, right? Although the scales all over its body are extremely hard, its weakness is too obvious. Wang Feng leaned against the giant emerald green snake. The short sword in his hand had been stained with a lot of venom during the battle, and it looked even sharper. Not long after, the mandala snake slowly calmed down, and a yellow soul ring rose. However, Wang Feng didn't even look at it and directly left. Chapter 26. This 500-year-old mandala snake was the third soul beast Wang Feng had encountered since he entered the forest. It was also the strongest one. It's a pity that the mandala snake's attack power is not strong. Its body is extremely tough and it is highly venomous. It's not much of a threat to me. Wang Feng shook his head. A lifespan of over 500 years was already not bad, but Wang Feng had no intention of collecting it. This mandala snake did not consume much of his strength. It's a pity. If little 3 was here, this would be very suitable for him. Wang Feng shook his head. He remembered that little 3's first soul ring was a 400-year-old mandala snake. He might be able to absorb this 500-year soul ring too, but it was not here. In another hour, this soul ring would disappear. Wang Feng did not think too much about it. Little 3 was the main character of the Douluo continent. No matter what, he would obtain a soul ring. There was no need for him to worry. Without thinking too much, Wang Feng left this place and continued to walk towards the depths of the soul-hunting forest. After walking for about an hour, the night gradually darkened. Roar! Suddenly, in the distance, a low roar could be heard. His voice caused the weaker soul beasts around him to tremble in fear. All of them crawled on the ground. This sound, Wang Feng's body trembled slightly. It actually made him feel a trace of fear. It was a 1,000-year soul beast. It was definitely a 1,000-year soul beast. Furthermore, it was not an ordinary 1,000-year soul beast. At this moment, Wang Feng was about to rush over. Suddenly, Ayo! Another loud roar could be heard from afar. This howl was not the slightest bit faster than that roar. Suddenly, Wang Junlin's body was slightly boiling. 2 1,000-year soul beasts. Wang Feng's eyes were burning. Although Wang Feng did not want to absorb 2 soul rings consecutively, he could choose. Wang Feng suppressed the excitement in his heart and walked forward with light steps. Not long after, the roar became louder and louder. A faint pressure could be felt from afar. Wang Feng quietly climbed up a big tree and looked into the distance through the gaps of the dense leaves. In front of him, there was a snow-white fox-like soul beast. Its body was 3 to 4 meters tall and was extremely huge. There was a star-shaped mark between its eyebrows. At this moment, its entire body was emitting a purple halo. It was staring an even bigger soul beast opposite it. This is a star moon fox. Wang Feng's eyes lit up. According to the simple information he had seen in the Academy's library yesterday, the star moon fox was a 1,000-year soul beast. Its entire body was snow white, and there was a purple mark on its forehead. It had an extremely strong regenerative ability. His other abilities were unknown. The first form of the Golden Lotus already has a super strong recovery and healing ability. If it fuses with the Star Moon Fox's soul ring, Wang Feng pondered. The fact that his other abilities were unknown meant that there was a lack of information. The records in the library were not detailed enough, but there was nothing he could do about it. But in fact, Wang Feng felt that the first form of the Golden Lotus no longer required a stronger healing ability. That was because Wang Feng had discovered that the strength of the first form of the Golden Lotus depended on the amount of soul power he could summon. According to the amount of soul power used, it could restore soul power, heal injuries, increase soul power, increase hormones, and so on. Previously, Wang Feng had only used less than a fifth of it, and it was enough to increase Su Yuntao's soul power. Wang Feng had only tried it once, and that was with that little bird. He was not sure what other effects it would have. The more soul power he used, the stronger the effects of the first form of the Golden Lotus. Therefore, the soul ring that Wang Feng was hoping for had other effects. For example, if the Golden Lotus could increase a soul master's strength, speed, and endurance, it would be perfect. It could be said to be a true all-rounder. Let's take a look at the other one. Wang Feng looked at the other soul beast. Wang Feng was shocked when he saw it. It was a leopard with a golden body. Even under the moonlight, it was still shining. And the light emitted by this golden leopard was extremely deep purple. Golden lightning leopard. Wang Feng felt his scalp tingle. It was also a 1,000-year soul beast. And this golden lightning leopard was extremely fast, like a bolt of lightning. The most terrifying thing was that its attack was extremely strong. In particular, this golden lightning leopard could release lightning that could paralyze its opponent. It was an extremely strong, offensive soul beast. But this golden lightning leopard is at least a 5,000-year soul beast. Wang Feng looked at the deep purple soul power on the golden lightning leopard. More than 5,000 years? Can I absorb it? No. Can I defeat this golden lightning leopard? If I can absorb this golden lightning leopard soul ring, the first form of the golden lotus should be able to provide me with all sorts of additional enhancements. I can only choose the most suitable one. That star moon fox seems to only be around 3,000 years old. It can't defeat this golden lightning leopard. Wang Feng's mind was spinning rapidly. With his current strength, it was impossible for him to defeat this golden lightning leopard, not to mention defeating it. It would be good enough if he could escape alive. Although he had a golden finger, neither the meteoric tear nor the chaotic green lotus gave him strong offensive abilities. Unless the chaotic green lotus awakened other forms, it was impossible now. Roar! The star moon fox let out a low roar, and the wounds on its body quickly healed. Then, I can only borrow the strength of this star moon fox. Wang Feng squinted his eyes, and he had a plan in mind. According to the records, the star moon fox was an extremely intelligent soul beast. Even if it was not 10,000 years old, it had a certain level of intelligence. At this moment, the golden lightning leopard, which was even bigger than the star moon fox, let out a loud roar. The golden horn on his head suddenly shot out a thumb-sized bolt of lightning toward the starry moon fox. The speed of the lightning bolt was extremely fast. The star moon fox seemed to have sensed it in advance. It had already jumped high to dodge the attack, but one of its legs was still hit. Instantly, the starry moon fox let out a pained cry. Whoosh! Kill it while it's down. Almost in an instant, the golden lightning leopard's speed suddenly disappeared. It leaped high into the air, and its sharp claws glinted in the night light. Whoosh! 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 The star moon fox's purple soul power trembled, and 3 bloody wounds appeared on its abdomen. Rumble! Its body was sent flying by the golden lightning leopard's sharp claws. It drew an arc in the air and smashed into the tree branch that Wang Feng was on. Wang Feng looked at the golden lightning leopard in the distance, and his eyes narrowed. So powerful, he could not even see the golden lightning leopard's speed clearly. He was no match for a soul beast that was more than 5,000 years old. However, it seems like the leopard is getting tired. The star moon fox must have injured it as well, said Lin Feng. Wang Feng looked at the starry moon fox below and curled his lips into a smile. Chapter 27. Little Fox, Don't Let Me Down. Wang Feng, who was hiding in the tree, opened his palm. The lotus seed in the center of the green lotus bloomed and turned into a golden lotus. Let me see if my guess is correct. Wang Feng took a deep breath and channeled the power of the golden lotus toward the star moon fox. Streaks of pure golden light entered the star moon fox's body. The star moon fox, who was lying on the ground, closed its eyes. It could not open them. However, as the power of the golden lotus entered its body, suddenly, it opened its eyes and saw Wang Feng on the tree, a small human. Its eyes were filled with disbelief. The power in its body began to surge. Instantly, the wounds on the moonlit fox started to heal at a speed visible to the naked eye. It stood up again. Its soul power was much more condensed than before. It had become stronger. It has increased. Wang Feng took a deep breath. I knew it. The golden lotus can not only increase the soul power of a soul master, but it can also increase the strength of a soul beast. It seems to have increased even more. Excited, that was what he had guessed. Since it could increase the soul power of a soul master, what if it could increase the age of a soul beast? The truth was right. Wang Feng's guess was right. Wang Feng did not know how much the star moon fox's soul power had increased, but the star moon fox's soul power had become more condensed. Roar! The star moon fox charged toward the golden thunderbolt leopard. The two beasts started to fight again. However, after a while, rumble! The star moon fox was sent flying again. This time, the golden thunderbolt leopard seemed to be even more tired. It roared at the Star Moon Fox. It did not understand that it had defeated the Star Moon Fox earlier. What is going on? This time, it will not be able to stand up again. However, soon, the Star Moon Fox stood up again. The purple soul power in its body became more condensed. Seeing this, the golden lightning leopard flew into a rage. What is going on? How did it recover? And it became stronger. Wang Feng was speechless. Pitter-patter. The two bees started to fight again. Rumble. The Star Moon Fox was sent flying against the tree again. The towering tree was on the verge of collapse. This time, the golden thunderbolt leopard could not stand properly. It seemed to be on the verge of collapse. Roar. It stared at the strange Moonstar Fox with bloodshot eyes. Impossible. If I can still stand up, then my leopard body from a few years ago would have been wasted. Zong. In less than 2 breaths, the Starry Moon Fox immediately jumped up and down again. The golden lightning leopard. It looked at the strange, starry crescent fox in despair. Its aura seemed to have become even stronger. Although he had yet to surpass him, he was still a far cry from him. But he couldn't do it anymore. On the tree, Wang Feng was also exhausted. He continuously activated his golden lotus to heal the starry crescent fox and increase its strength. Wang Feng couldn't take it anymore. This was already the 3rd time. He had reached his limit. If the starry crescent fox still couldn't defeat the golden thunder leopard this time, then the golden thunder leopard would be defeated. He was a real piece of trash. Boom! Just as he was thinking, the tree shook and Wang Feng cursed. Damn it, this Star Moon Fox is too weak. Again? He looked over, and the anger on his face instantly turned into joy. This time, it's a golden lightning leopard. Seeing this, Wang Fengxin was overjoyed. Without any hesitation, he jumped down with a broken sword in his hand. The saber stabbed directly into the head of the golden lightning leopard, who was completely exhausted at this moment. Boom! In the next moment, an enormous energy aura suddenly exploded from the golden lightning leopard's body. A dark purple soul ring gradually rose from the golden lightning leopard. Seeing this, Wang Fengxin's heart raced. 6,000 years. A 6,000-year soul ring. Such a powerful soul ring, and it was his first soul ring. Could he take it? However, Wang Feng was not in a hurry to absorb the soul ring, because the Starry Moon Fox behind him was staring at him. Wang Feng turned around and looked at the Starry Moon Fox. It seemed to be very tired. This golden lightning leopard was too strong. It had used 3 lives, each stronger than the last, to barely defeat it. But now it was still full of energy. You want to fight me? Wang Feng said coldly. This was within his expectations. After all, soul beasts and humans were enemies. Although he had no power now, it was unrealistic for him to defeat this Starry Moon Fox. But at the very least, he could escape. At most, it would be a waste of effort. However, the Starry Moon Fox squatted down and looked at Wang Junlin curiously. It did not seem to want to fight. Wang Feng did not move. The Starry Moon Fox stood up and walked toward Wang Feng. Wang Feng frowned slightly, but he did not retreat. The Starry Moon Fox circled around Wang Feng and then lay down on the ground. It still did not want to fight. It glanced at the golden lightning leopard and seemed to be saying, "Are you not going to absorb the soul ring?" Wang Feng was stunned and looked at the Starry Moon Fox. After thinking for a while, he sat down cross-legged and looked at the soul ring on the golden lightning leopard. His eyes were burning at the same time. In a corner of the soul-hunting forest, Little Sand, this is a mandala snake that is at least 500 years old. Grandmaster pointed at the huge soul beast corpse on the ground and said, "It should have been killed by a rank 30 soul master. Look at its wound. Its head was pierced through, and the weakest part of its body is injured. It is very fast and agile." Tang Sen looked at the 5-meter-long snake and nodded slightly. He thought that even if he used all his strength, he would not be able to kill a 500-year soul beast. I wonder who killed it. What a pity. It seems that the soul master should have absorbed the soul ring of this mandala snake. This mandala snake is the best soul beast for your blue silver grass. Grandmaster shook his head and felt a little regretful. Right at this moment, suddenly, there was a fierce cry in front of them. A burst of fog covered the line of sight in front of him. Oh no, there's another mandala snake. Grandmaster's expression changed. His gaze focused as he looked at the distant fog. There was a giant green snake. His voice suddenly rose a few notches. Oh no, it's a mandala snake that's more than 400 years old. I'm afraid it's related to this dead mandala snake. Tang Sen also looked at the mandala snake. It was a 4-meter-long mandala snake. Its body emitted a fishy aura. At this moment, it was spitting its tongue at the two of them from afar. Little San, let me teach you a theory. If you have more rings and more bones, you'll have more skills. If you have fewer rings and fewer bones, you will run away. Simply put, if you have fewer rings and fewer bones, you will obviously not be able to win. Immediately conserve your strength and retreat. Grandmaster said simply, for example now, third cannon, fart like thunder, earth-shattering luo, sand cannon. Rumble. A rumbling sound rang out. Two silhouettes dashed out at once after a long time. Rumble. With a loud sound, the mandala snake's figure fell to the ground again. Little San, that's great. This time, your soul ring will be found. Grandmaster, whose face was still a little pale, looked at the mandala snake with ecstasy. Luckily, you stabbed its vital point just now. Quickly absorb this mandala snake's soul ring. 400 years is exactly the same as the maximum age that I estimated that the first soul ring can withstand. Tang San's face was a little excited. His teacher had said a lot to him on the way. A 4-sided soul ring. I must successfully absorb it. This way, I can help teacher practice his theory. Chapter 28. Just as Tang San was absorbing the soul ring of the mandala snake, Wang Feng was absorbing the soul ring of this 6,000-year soul beast, the golden lightning leopard. Sitting cross-legged, Wang Feng took a deep breath and focused all his attention on the azure lotus martial soul in his sea of consciousness. At the same time, his fingers drove the soul power and slowly guided the shining purple soul ring to land on top of his head. As the soul ring approached, a pressure as heavy as Mount Tai enveloped Wang Feng's body. The pressure brought by the 6,000-year soul ring was like a tsunami in an instant. Before he could absorb it, it attacked Wang Feng's mind and body. One had to know that this golden lightning leopard was not killed by Wang Feng. He even used a more cunning method to kill it. Then he gave it the final blow. This golden lightning leopard was a 6,000-year soul beast and already had a certain level of intelligence. It was definitely very ruthless to him. The soul ring contained a deep sense of resentment. Wang Feng groaned, his face flushed red, and blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Too strong. A 6,000-year soul ring was too strong. A normal soul master could only absorb a 5,000-year soul ring with his 4th soul ring. It's really terrifying, Wang Fengxi muttered. He had not even absorbed it yet, but the pressure brought by the 6,000-year soul ring and the resentment of the golden lightning leopard was already making him unable to hold on. If he absorbed it, wouldn't he explode and die? But that was the truth. Wang Feng dared to guarantee that with his current physical fitness, absorbing a 6,000-year soul ring would only lead to death under normal circumstances. Even if his physical fitness was twice as strong, it was impossible to absorb a 6,000-year soul ring. A normal soul master might not be able to absorb it even if he died more than 10 times. But I have the meteoric tear. Wang Feng's mouth hooked up into a smile. This thing was formed from the tear of the God King of Life in the star transformation and fused with his heart. It had an extremely strong self-healing ability, and later on, it could also increase the speed of absorbing heaven and earth energy and many other effects. Simply put, it was very difficult for Wang Feng to die, unless his soul consciousness was obliterated. Otherwise, just the injuries on his body would be extremely difficult to kill. Come on. Wang Feng forcefully suppressed the boiling blood in his heart and unleashed the green lotus martial soul in his hand. He guided the soul power and allowed the 6,000-year soul ring to slowly descend from the top of his head and wrap around his body. In the blink of an eye, a torrential flood of energy surged into his body. Boom! Wang Feng's mind instantly exploded. At this moment, his body was like a small county by the sea. The energy that surged into his body was like a torrential flood that fell from the sky. It was like a hurricane that swept away the clouds, washing away the tiny county. All the vehicles, streets, pedestrians, shops, and everything else in the city were engulfed in an instant. First, countless blood vessels appeared on Wang Feng's skin. Then, countless cracks appeared on his skin. Then, the muscle fibers, cells, and other tissues inside his body were quickly destroyed by the raging energy. Even his bones were unable to completely withstand the pressure. With a crisp cracking sound, they were already corroded and broken apart. Wang Feng's entire body, from his great Dao to his limbs, bones, and organs, down to his cells and nerves, were rapidly rupturing. From afar, Wang Feng looked like a man covered in blood. The extreme pain caused by the extreme destruction instantly drowned half of Wang Feng's consciousness. Only a strand of his soul lingered in his sea of consciousness. It revolved around the green lotus martial soul. The Star Moon Fox, who was squatting at the side, looked at Wang Feng with an extremely human-like expression of pity. Although this human had saved him, it was unbelievable. However, he was too weak. It was impossible for him to absorb the golden lightning leopard's 6,000-year soul ring. If he was 10 times stronger, perhaps there would be a chance. At this moment, in Wang Feng's sea of consciousness, a green lotus was emitting a faint light and slowly rotating. Instantly, the torrential flood seemed to have found an outlet. After it washed over Wang Feng's body, it surged into the green lotus. On the lotus platform, the smallest lotus seed slowly bloomed and gave birth to a golden lotus. The raging energy formed a whirlpool that was like a purple ocean and surged into the golden lotus. Suddenly, the golden lotus shone brightly. The flower bud that had just opened quietly bloomed and seemed to have grown a lot. The golden lotus leaves became plump and thicker. CICICI. Streaks of golden lightning circled around the golden lotus and emitted thunderous sounds. It looked extremely cool. Finally, it imprinted on the golden lotus leaves and added a bit of divine power to the golden lotus. Swish! The golden lotus moved quietly. Its speed was extremely fast, and it was like a phantom. It rushed into Wang Feng's sea of consciousness and seemed to be leisurely wandering around at the same time. Wang Feng's body was almost completely disintegrated. Only his heart was glowing. The tear-shaped meteoric tear sent out streams of pure energy from the center of Wang Feng's body, flowing into his body from his heart like a river returning to the sea. This wave of energy carried the energy stored in Wang Feng's body and flowed through his body. Every time it passed by a damaged part of his body, it was as if it was covered by Doraemon's time cloth. In the blink of an eye, it was as good as new. However, the difference was that every part of his body had become even more powerful after it was regenerated. Although the berserk leopard's energy in the 6,000-year soul ring had destroyed Wang Feng's body, it had also given him a chance to be reborn. As the energy from the meteoric tear recovered, Wang Feng's body slowly recovered and became stronger. Every inch of his muscles were dense and seamless. They were filled with explosive strength. His broken bones were like steel that had been tempered thousands of times. His skin became fairer and smoother. Even his entire body had become a few centimeters taller during the recasting process. He looked like a 6-year-old child, but he was as tall as a 10-year-old child. The star crescent fox outside opened its eyes wide. It paced around Wang Feng's body. At this moment, Wang Feng's body seemed to be wrapped in a layer of transparent energy. It was as if he was about to be reborn. It could also feel the energy that was filled with life. It seemed to be repairing this human child. The energy that was filled with life made the star crescent fox want to worship it. At the same time, Wang Feng's consciousness gradually recovered. However, The golden lightning beast's hatred seemed to have turned into a black golden lightning leopard in his sea of consciousness. It roared crazily at Wang Feng's consciousness. It was as if it wanted to devour the last bit of his soul consciousness. However, Wang Feng's consciousness was suddenly stunned. At this moment, mysterious energies of 7 different colors surged out of the wisp of consciousness. It circled around Wang Feng's consciousness and turned into 6 pairs of illusory black energy wings. Wang Feng's consciousness was wrapped into 7 different types of energy. It gradually turned into a small person that looked exactly like Wang Feng. However, its body was surrounded by endless black fog. The evil and ghostly energy made this small person emit a cold and evil aura like that of an evil god. Instantly, the golden lightning leopard's resentful consciousness quieted down like a mouse that had seen a cat. It trembled. The small person surrounded by black fog bent its palm towards the golden lightning leopard. Chapter 29. At the same time, in the soul-hunting forest, Wang Feng abruptly opened his eyes, and his pupils instantly turned pitch black. A terrifying aura burst out from his body. 6 pairs of demonic black energy wings rose from his body. Because his body was reconstructed, there were 7 different patterns on his body. They extended from his limbs to his heart, and they formed a circular pattern that looked like a black sun. Wang Feng unconsciously roared, as if he was venting his anger. In the next moment, the terrifying aura seemed to have condensed into a substance and spread out in all directions. The starry crescent fox immediately fell to the ground and trembled. It didn't understand why the child who was emitting life energy suddenly became extremely evil and filled with an aura that terrified the fox. In fact, the entire soul-hunting forest was shaken at this moment. All the soul beasts, whether they were awake or asleep, were suddenly awakened. They prostrated themselves on the ground and trembled. However, only the soul beasts were affected. Many of the soul masters in the soul-hunting forest felt a chill in their hearts. It was as if ice had entered their hearts, causing them to tremble uncontrollably, but they did not know what was happening. Tang San, who had just obtained a soul ring, also felt a chill in his body. He subconsciously looked in a certain direction. "Teacher, do you feel it?" Tang San looked at Grandmaster and asked in a low voice. "It's strange. There's a very cold and powerful aura. Is it a soul beast?" Grandmaster nodded, but he frowned. He did not know what was going on. The two of them did not know what was going on. However, at the same time, in the faraway Heaven Do Empire's imperial palace, a boy of about 15 years old seemed to be meditating. There was a 6-winged angel brand between her eyebrows. Although the boy was very young, he was very handsome. He had a face that many women would go crazy for. His skin was as white as snow, and his face was already starting to take shape. No one knew what he would look like. Suddenly, she opened her eyes, and a beam of holy golden light flashed across her eyes. Behind her, a 6-winged seraph suddenly appeared behind her. Unparalleled holy light filled the entire hall. It's the aura of an angel. But why is it so evil and terrifying? A look of disbelief appeared in her eyes. The 6-winged angel symbolized the divine light and was the representative of God in the world. Only she had awakened such a superb martial spirit. But now, she actually sensed the aura of someone from the same clan. However, it gave her an incomparably evil aura that made her tremble. She was probably the only one who could sense the aura of her own race so clearly. This aura. No, it's possible that it's a superb martial spirit that's even stronger than my 6-winged angel. How is this possible? She murmured as the shock in her eyes grew stronger. Who could it be? In the palace, a voice that sounded like the sound of nature rang out. In the soul-hunting forest, after Wang Feng roared, the darkness in his eyes quickly retreated. The 7 tattoos on his body that gave off an extremely evil and evil origin aura also quickly retreated. Finally, his originally strong body sank back. The 6 pairs of 12-winged energy wings on his back also disappeared instantly. Wang Feng fell to the ground and fell asleep. His consciousness was jolted awake, followed by fatigue and sleepiness. In the end, there was only one doubt left. Just now, could it be my mysterious humanoid martial spirit? What kind of martial spirit is it? The next day, in the soul-hunting forest, Wang Feng was woken up by a moist feeling. Suddenly opening his eyes, Wang Feng saw a snow-white fox sticking out the tip of its white tongue and licking his face. Wang Feng was speechless. Suddenly awakened, Wang Feng abruptly sat up from the ground. Then he looked around. In his line of sight, there was only the starry moon fox. As for the dead golden lightning leopard, there was only a skeleton left. Seeing Wang Feng wake up, the starry moon fox blinked at him. "You've been here all night?" Wang Feng looked at it. The starry moon fox nodded. "Thank you." Wang Feng took a deep breath. Last night, when he was about to be devoured by the resentful consciousness of the golden lightning leopard, it seemed that he had awakened the mysterious humanoid martial spirit that the system had given him. That was the humanoid martial spirit that he had received from the martial spirit palace in the Saint Soul village when he had used his innate full soul strength. "What is it?" Wang Feng was shocked and doubtful. He touched his chest. He didn't know how to activate this martial spirit. It seemed to be hidden in his body. Could it be that it would only appear at critical moments? Or did he need to use special means? However, Wang Feng was able to clearly sense that extremely evil aura. It seemed that after being possessed by the martial spirit, he would become extremely cold and emotionless, like a god who controlled time and everything. Wang Feng had goosebumps. "No, that's not me." "Right, my strength." Wang Feng took a deep breath and checked his body. Wang Feng was stunned when he did the check. "Where's my soul power?" Wang Feng felt that his body was empty. Countless questions popped up in his mind. There was not a trace of energy left. Where did the soul power come from? His body had surpassed the limit. With the help of the meteoric tear, he had accumulated a lot of soul power. It should be at least rank 20 innate full soul strength, right? Why was there not a trace of soul power left in his body? Moreover, he had completely absorbed the soul ring from 6 years ago. His soul power should have increased even more. Could it be that after my body exploded yesterday, the meteoric tear recast all my soul power? Wang Feng said in a daze. Last night, the feeling of being crushed by the power of the 6,000-year soul ring was really painful. Wang Feng would probably never forget that pain for the rest of his life. Then, as he expected, the meteoric tear burst out with life force, allowing his body to regenerate. Terrifying. This is King a trap. No, my body. Wang Feng frowned as he felt his body. Powerful, unparalleled power. With a light jump. Swish. Wang Feng directly jumped hundreds of meters high. This, because he was completely unaccustomed to the power. Wang Feng directly hit a big tree. Have I become a Superman? Wang Feng looked at the towering tree beside him. Swish! A leg slashed horizontally. Ka. This tree was so thick that it would take 10 people to wrap their arms around it. In an instant, it was split into 2 by his leg. This casual kick of mine probably has the strength of 6,000 kilograms, right? Wang Feng murmured. In his previous life on Earth, it was rumored that Master Bruce Lee's kick had the strength of nearly half a ton, which was equivalent to 1,000 Gene. And Bruce Lee's body was considered to be one of the best among humans at that time. Now, his casual kick had the strength of 6,000 Gene? What kind of concept was this? 6,000 Gene was equivalent to 3 tons. A small car in his previous life, he could directly send it flying with a kick. If Brother Tao was here, would I be able to kick him to death? Wang Feng thought hesitantly. Chapter 30. Just as Tang San was absorbing the mandala snake's soul ring, as for Wang Feng, he was absorbing the soul ring of the golden thunder leopard. Sitting cross-legged, Wang Feng took a deep breath and focused all his attention on the green lotus martial soul in his sea of consciousness. At the same time, he activated his soul power with his fingers and slowly guided the shining purple soul ring to land on top of his head. As the soul ring approached, a pressure as heavy as Mount Tai enveloped Wang Feng's body. The pressure from the 6,000-year soul ring was like a monstrous tsunami in an instant. Before Wang Feng could absorb it, it had already attacked his mind and body. One had to know that Wang Feng wasn't the one who killed the golden thunder leopard. In fact, he had used a crafty method to kill the leopard with a borrowed knife. He would deal the final blow. This golden thunder leopard was a 6,000-year soul beast. It already had a certain level of intelligence. It definitely hated him to the core. The soul ring contained a deep sense of resentment and consciousness. Wang Feng groaned. His face turned red and blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. Too strong. A 6,000-year soul ring was too strong. A normal soul master could only absorb a 5,000-year soul ring even with their fourth soul ring. How terrifying! Wang Feng muttered in his heart. He hadn't even absorbed it yet. Just the pressure from this 6,000-year soul ring and the golden thunder leopard's resentment were enough to make him unable to withstand it. If he absorbed it, wouldn't his body explode and die? This was the truth. Wang Feng dared to guarantee that with his current physique, absorbing a 6,000-year soul ring would only result in death under normal circumstances. Even if his physique was twice as strong, it would still be impossible for him to absorb this 6-year soul ring. A normal soul master might not be able to absorb it even if they died more than 10 times. But I have the meteoric tear. Wang Feng's mouth curled up into a smile. This thing was formed from the life god king's tear during the astral transformation. It had fused with his heart. It had extremely powerful self-healing abilities. In the future, it could even increase the speed at which he absorbed the energy of heaven and earth. Simply put, it was very difficult for Wang Feng to die. Unless his soul consciousness was completely obliterated, he wouldn't be able to escape. Otherwise, it would be extremely difficult for him to die from just physical injuries. Come on. Wang Feng forcefully suppressed the boiling blood in his heart. He unleashed the azure lotus martial soul in his hand and guided the soul power. The 6,000-year soul ring slowly descended from his head and wrapped around his body. In an instant, a flood of energy poured into his body, as if there was no end to it. Boom! Wang Feng's mind instantly exploded. At this moment, his body seemed to be a small city by the sea. The energy that surged into his body was like a torrential flood that fell from the sky. It was like a tornado that swept away the clouds, washing away the tiny city. All the cars, streets, pedestrians, shops, and so on in the city were instantly swept away. First, countless blood vessels appeared on Wang Feng's skin, and it cracked slightly, forming countless cracks. Then, the muscles, cells, and so on in his body were quickly destroyed by the violent, surging energy. Even his bones couldn't withstand it completely. With a crisp cracking sound, they had already been eroded and broken. Wang Feng's entire body, including his limbs, bones, organs, and even his cells and nerves, were rapidly ruptured. From afar, Wang Feng looked like a man covered in blood. The pain brought about by the extreme destruction instantly drowned most of Wang Feng's consciousness. Only his soul consciousness lingered around the azure, lotus martial soul in his sea of consciousness. The Star Moon Fox, who was squatting down, looked at Wang Feng with a human-like expression of pity. Although this human had saved him, it was unbelievable. However, he was too weak. It was impossible for him to absorb the 6,000-year soul ring of the golden lightning leopard. If he was 10 times stronger, he might be able to do it, right? At this moment, in Wang Feng's sea of consciousness, an azure lotus was emitting a faint glow as it slowly floated and rotated. Instantly, it was as if a torrential flood had found an opening. After washing through Wang Feng's body, it flowed into the azure lotus. On the lotus platform, the smallest lotus seed slowly blossomed and gave birth to a golden lotus. The violent energy directly formed a whirlpool that looked like a purple ocean and flowed into the golden lotus. In an instant, The golden lotus shone brightly. The flower bud that was only slightly blossomed suddenly blossomed and seemed to have grown a lot. The golden lotus leaves became plump and thicker. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Streaks of golden lightning circled around the golden lotus, emitting a series of thunderclaps. It looked extremely cool. Finally, it imprinted on the leaves of the golden lotus, adding some divine might to the golden lotus. Swoosh! The golden lotus moved quietly. Its speed was extremely fast, almost like a phantom. It surged into Wang Feng's sea of consciousness, as if it was wandering around lightly at the same time. Wang Feng's body was almost completely shattered. Only the position of his heart was glowing. The meteoric tear, which was shaped like a teardrop, emitted waves of mellow energy. From the position of the heart, it flowed into Wang Feng's body like the return of 10,000 seas. This wave of energy guided the energy stored in Wang Feng's body and flowed throughout Wang Feng's body. Every time it passed through a damaged area, it was as if it was covered by the time cloth in Doraemon's pocket. In the blink of an eye, it became as good as new. But what was different was that every part of his body that had recovered had become even stronger than before. Although the energy of the berserk leopard contained in the 6,000-year soul ring had destroyed Wang Feng's body, it had also given him a chance to be reborn. As the energy surged out from the meteoric tear, Wang Feng's body gradually recovered and became even stronger. Inch by inch, his muscles became seamless and filled with explosive power. His broken bones were like steel that had been tempered and reforged. His skin became even whiter and smoother. Even his entire body had grown a few centimeters taller during the recasting. He looked 6 years old, but he was as tall and strong as a 10-year-old child. Outside, the Star Moon Fox's eyes were wide open. It was wandering around Wang Feng's body. At this moment, Wang Feng's body seemed to be wrapped in a layer of transparent energy, as if he was about to break out of a cocoon and be reborn. It also felt that waves of energy filled with vitality seemed to be repairing this human child. The waves of energy that were full of vitality made the Star Moon Fox feel like it was worshipping them. At the same time, Wang Feng's consciousness gradually recovered. However, the resentment of the Golden Thunder Beast seemed to have turned into a black Golden Thunder Leopard in his sea of consciousness, roaring crazily at Wang Feng's consciousness. It seemed to want to devour the last bit of his soul consciousness. However, Wang Feng's consciousness suddenly froze. At this moment, mysterious energies of 7 different colors surged out of this consciousness. The consciousness that surrounded Wang Feng turned into 6 pairs of illusory black energy wings. Wang Feng's last bit of consciousness, surrounded by the 7 different energies, gradually turned into a small person that looked exactly like Wang Feng. However, it was surrounded by endless black mist. The evil and ghostly energy made this small person emit a cold and evil aura like that of an evil god. In an instant, the resentful soul consciousness of the Golden Thunder Leopard suddenly quieted down like a mouse that had seen a cat. It was trembling. The small person surrounded by black mist bent its palm toward the Golden Thunder Leopard. Chapter 31. His first soul skill was a little strong, and Wang Feng was shocked. However, such a strong soul skill also drained a lot of his soul power. With Wang Feng's compressed rank 16 soul force, if he wanted to use it on a large scale, 3 or 4 people would be enough to make him collapse. Furthermore, such a boost should only be effective when it's given to someone of the same rank as me. Wang Feng pondered. As he spoke, Wang Feng used deification on the Moonlight Fox. The Moonlight Fox was engulfed by golden light, and its body became bigger. Its fur became brighter, and its aura became stronger. Its body was also surrounded by layers of lightning. For example, I can't double this Moonlight Fox's abilities. Perhaps it's only 30%. However, the numbing effect doesn't seem to have weakened. Wang Feng felt that 1/3 of his soul power had disappeared. The Moonlight Fox's abilities should be less than 3,000 years old. Without considering other factors, It was equivalent to a rank 35 or 36 soul elder. The effects of deification would be greatly reduced. This was very normal. Although auxiliary-type soul masters could boost their abilities, it depended on the situation. It was impossible for a rank 20 auxiliary-type soul master's auxiliary skill to be effective on a rank 80 or 90 soul Douluo. Wang Feng wasn't sure if there was such a rule in the Douluo continent, but he felt that it was unlikely. If a rank 20 auxiliary-type soul master could boost a soul Douluo's attributes, the continent would have been in chaos. This was because this meant that a soul master who wasn't even at rank 20 could influence a battle between soul Douluo who were over rank 80, or even a titled Dalu. That was impossible. There had to be at least a rank 60 auxiliary-type soul sage to be effective on a soul Douluo. Wang Feng guessed that his deification would have an effect on a level 45 soul ancestor at the very least. Most importantly, the numbing effect wouldn't weaken. It would double the effect on a soul master of the same rank as him. This was already very abnormal. After some research, Wang Feng finally understood his first soul skill. Wang Feng had benefited a lot from this trip to the soul-hunting forest. After obtaining a 6,000-year soul ring, his physique had changed tremendously. The first form of his golden lotus had obtained a powerful auxiliary-type soul skill. It could be said that his abilities had been fully developed. Wang Feng was even confident that the first form of the golden lotus was the most perfect auxiliary martial soul. The deified soul skill allowed the golden lotus to supplement almost all of its auxiliary abilities. Recover soul power, heal injuries, increase the upper limit of soul power, and increase hormones. After that, the mythical soul skill would increase the various abilities of the soul master, adding attack special effects and control abilities. What else was missing? All right, little fox, let's go. Wang Feng took out a new set of clothes from his bag and put them on. After his body exploded last night, his clothes were long gone. Fortunately, Wang Feng had prepared a change of clothes. It wasn't to the extent of going out naked. Compressing my soul power will make my path of cultivation extremely difficult. But now that I've gone through a reborn body and the meteoric tier, my speed won't be slow. After changing his clothes, Wang Feng waved at the starry moon fox. Roar, the starry moon fox barked at Wang Feng. Don't worry, I'll be back soon, Wang Feng said with a smile. Although compressing and purifying soul force would slow down his cultivation speed, it would only get slower as he progressed. In just one morning, he had advanced almost 16 ranks. But for every rank after that, he might need a day or two to reach 16 ranks. For rank 17, he would need at least 4 to 5 days. For rank 18, he would need more than 10 days. For rank 19, he would need more than a month. For rank 20, he would need at least 2 to 3 months. For rank 21, 22, he would need even more time. This was because the difficulty would increase exponentially. But at the same time, every rank he advanced would be at least twice as powerful as a normal soul master of the same level. The further he progressed, the more powerful he would be. Sometimes, Wang Feng felt a little scared just thinking about it. However, Wang Feng was confident that he could reach rank 25 within a year. Within 6 years, he could reach rank 32. When he reached rank 32, it would mean that Wang Feng had a certain level of strength on the Douluo continent. Simply put, he would have the capital to go out and have fun. He could also graduate from the academy and go to the Shrek Academy to register. Furthermore, Wang Feng was looking forward to the second form. It would be best if it had a powerful attack. This would make up for his lack of offensive skills. Otherwise, he could only rely on his physical fitness to fight with his physical skills. Wang Feng waved at the starry moon fox. The next time he came to the soul-hunting forest, he might be looking for his second soul ring. His requirements were not high. It was also 1,000 years. He would have to see what his second form would be after he reached rank 20. Only then would he be able to figure out what kind of soul beast to look for. I'll go back to the academy first, then go to the martial soul hall to verify my soul power. At that time, I'll be a real soul master. After Wang Feng walked out of the soul-hunting forest, he rushed straight to Nodding City. This time, his speed was extremely fast. When he came, he spent an entire morning, 6 to 7 hours. But this time, it took him less than an hour to return to Nodding City. His speed was not much inferior to the speeding cars in his previous life. Before he entered the Nodding Academy, the guard at the gate smiled respectfully at Wang Feng. "Young master, we have something to tell you." "What is it?" Wang Feng asked. "It's like this. The fellow villager who came with you yesterday went to the forest behind school. According to the news we heard, a senior student got into a fight with a working student and ran to the forest behind the school. Your friend heard the news when he came back and rushed over. I'm afraid he's in danger." The guard whispered, "That senior student is called Xiao Qinyu. He's very powerful in Nodding Junior Academy. He's the son of Nodding City's mayor and is very strong. He's a real soul master. Your friend ran over there too. I'm afraid he'll be at a disadvantage." Wang Feng listened to the guard. Realization dawned on Wang Feng. It should be Xiao Qinyu, right? The working student who got into a fight with the senior student should be Xiao Wu. "Wait, what did you say the senior student was called?" Wang Feng asked in surprise. "Xiao Qinyu." Wang Feng's expression was a little strange. "Isn't Xiao Qinyu the guy I beat up at Lushi yesterday? But he shouldn't be able to beat Xiao Qinyu now. Xiao Qinyu went to the soul-hunting forest with the master last night and came back today. He must have gotten a soul ring." "Got it. I'll go have a look." Wang Feng waved his hand. "Young master, take care." The guard respectfully sent him off. Wang Feng smiled. These two bastards have learned their lesson. If anything happened to the academy or Nodding City in the future, these two would probably tell him. Xiao Qinyu was the son of Nodding City's mayor, which made Wang Feng feel a little strange. He had long forgotten about this minor character on the Douluo continent. Wang Feng walked along the small path at the back of the academy and quickly entered the forest. Before he got close, he heard a commotion in front of him. "Little girl, your martial soul is a rabbit. If you lose, why don't you become our boss's pet? Our big brother Xiao is willing to accept it out of respect." "Nonsense. Even if I get a pet, Xiao Qinyu, wouldn't dare to call myself the boss. Boss Wang is the only one who can do that." Yes. He's the new boss of Lushi." For some unknown reason, Wang Feng, who was still in the forest, was speechless when he heard those words. Chapter 32. In the open space, there were two groups of people. One group of people was much taller than the other. Xiao Qinyu was the leader of the group. He was obviously a senior. The other group consisted of the working students, led by Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu's face was red with anger. She glared at Xiao Qinyu and said angrily, "Do you really think I'm afraid of you? If you lose from now on, I don't care if you're Boss Xiao or Boss Wang. You'll have to call me boss." The senior students led by Xiao Qinyu burst into disdainful laughter. "That's good." Xiao Qinyu laughed and said, "Little girl, I really don't know where your courage comes from. How dare you challenge us, the senior students? Do you want to know who I am in Nodding School? Let me tell you, other than Boss Wang, I can do whatever I want in this school. Who dares to stop me?" "You talk too much." Xiao Wu put her hands on her hips and snorted. "You seniors have big mouths. Let's fight." After saying that, Xiao Wu angrily walked up to him. However, Wang Sheng pulled Xiao Wu back and whispered, "Sister Xiao Wu, you're stronger than him. Wait, I'll go first." Xiao Wu glanced at Wang Sheng hesitantly, then patted him on the shoulder and encouraged him. "Okay, Wang Sheng, you can do it." Wang Sheng nodded and walked out. "It's Wang Sheng?" Xiao Qinyu picked his ear. "Lu Long, go and beat him up. I'll be proud of you." Lu Long walked out with a smile on his face. Wang Sheng had already been defeated by him. He was no match for him. He had lost count of how many times Lu Long had beaten him. "Wang Sheng, did you piss your pants when you saw you, Elder Lu?" Lu Long shouted. "I advise you to stop struggling. We still have Boss Wang. Let me tell you, Boss Wang is very powerful. Even if we work together, including Brother Xiao, we're no match for Boss Wang. Do you still want to go against us?" Hearing this, Xiao Wu was suspicious. "Boss Wang? What Boss Wang?" She only heard that it was Boss Xiao. The other working students were also confused. Xiao Qinyu thought to himself, "Damn it, Lu Long, this guy, after being beaten up, directly changed from being my boss to brother." However, he didn't dare to say anything. He was completely convinced by Boss Wang. In the 6 houses, without using any soul power, he could defeat him in 1 or 2 moves. He was terrifyingly strong, but in such a situation, Boss Wang probably didn't even need to make a move. Wang Sheng's face darkened, and he didn't say anything. Xiao Wu, on the other hand, shouted without restraint, "I don't care if you're Boss Wang or Wang Sheng. Let's beat this fallen flower down first." As soon as she finished speaking, Wang Sheng didn't move. Lu Long's face turned cold, and a cunning look flashed across his face. He took a step forward, and a long yellow rod appeared in his hand. Then he swung it at Wang Sheng. Seeing this, Wang Sheng seemed to have already experienced it. His body flashed with a yellow light, and the tiger martial spirit appeared behind him. His body expanded slightly. With a low roar, Wang Sheng fearlessly used his arms to block in front of him. With a muffled sound, the long staff hit his arms, and a bloody mark suddenly appeared. But Wang Sheng grabbed at the staff instead. "Wang Sheng, you are too stupid. Do you think you're Boss Wang? You want to capture my martial spirit? You're too slow." However, Lu Long laughed mockingly. The martial spirit in his hand disappeared, and he turned his palm and appeared in another direction. A fierce staff smashed toward Wang Sheng like a gust of wind. Bang, bang, bang. In an instant, a series of muffled sounds came from Wang Sheng's body. Without a sound, a few bloody marks appeared on Wang Sheng's body. Lu Long seemed to have the upper hand. Xiao Wu furrowed her brows and walked away angrily. Why did Wang Sheng keep resisting? No, Wang Sheng doesn't have enough experience. He can't fight Lu Long head-on. The staff is a long-handled weapon. He has to find a way to get close to Lu Long to defeat him. A voice sounded softly. Xiao Wu took a look and saw that it was Tang San walking over. She couldn't help but feel happy. "Little San, why are you so late? You still have the nerve to say that. You should have waited for me." You rushed over to challenge him. "Are you confident?" Tang San was speechless. He had been absorbing soul rings last night, and he only rushed over from the soul-hunting forest this morning. "What are you waiting for? They're already bullying me. These bastards even want me to be their Boss Wang's pet rabbit. I'm so angry." Xiao Wu snorted and then frowned. "Tang San, there's a Boss Wang in the academy. Do you know him?" "Boss Wang?" Tang San was surprised. "No, I don't know him. Isn't he Boss Xiao? I heard a lot of students talking about him on the way here. You don't know him either?" Xiao Wu looked at him in confusion. Tang San shook his head. He looked at Xiao Qinyu and thought to himself, Xiao Qinyu is not a simple person. Why just return to the academy? Many of my classmates were discussing him. I heard that Xiao Qinyu is the son of the city lord of Nottingham. Who else in Notting City can be his boss? Boss Wang? Could it be Brother Feng? Tang San's heart skipped a beat. Then he shook his head. Impossible. Brother Feng is a working student like me. He has nothing to do with these people. How can Xiao Qinyu be their boss? Oh no, Wang Sheng is going to lose. Suddenly, Xiao Wu said anxiously. At this moment, Lu Long leaped high into the air from the center of the field. His long staff was like a heavenly strike as it headed straight for Wang Sheng, who was lying on the ground. Seeing this, Tang Sin quietly stretched out his hand, picked up several stones, and shot them at Lu Long. Bang, bang, bang. Lu Long's staff was about to land on Wang Sheng's body when he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his wrist. It was as if he had been hit by something. His hands were sore, and he could no longer maintain his posture. His attack instantly disappeared. Seeing this opportunity, Wang Sheng's eyes lit up. With a roar, he pounced at Lu Long. Pa pa pa! Wang Sheng slapped Lu Long's back and slammed him to the ground. A few more kicks landed on Lu Long's body. Lu Long didn't even have a chance to fight back. He was beaten until his entire body was in pain. In the distance, when Wang Feng saw this scene, he thought to himself, Little 3 is really sinister, directly using a secret move. However, Lil 3 was good at using hidden weapons, so the others probably wouldn't notice. These little bastards were really arrogant. Even after being beaten up by him, they still didn't understand. After thinking for a moment, Wang Feng slowly walked over. At the same time, seeing that Lu Long was defeated, Xiao Qinyu's face darkened. "Let me do it." A boy came out from behind. It was Ling Feng, on the other side. "Let me do it." Tang Xin stopped Xiao Wu, who was about to make a move, and said in a low voice, "Wang Sheng is exhausted." Xiao Wu nodded. Lil 3 was still very powerful. "Ling Feng, you can't lose again," Xiao Qinyu said in a low voice. "Don't worry, Brother Xiao." Ling Feng walked out proudly. Among the seniors, only Brother Xiao was stronger than him. "Oh no, there was Boss Wang." Ling Feng valiantly walked out in high spirits. However, the next moment, boom! With a loud noise, Ling Feng flew upside down and fell directly at Xiao Qinyu's feet. Chapter 33. Brother Xiao, this kid is a bit strong. He didn't even use his soul power. Ling Feng was caught by that kid, but he was sent flying after a few moves. Why are the working students so strong this year? The people behind Xiao Qinyu began to talk among themselves. Xiao Qinyu walked out of the room and looked at Tang San calmly. This kid is different from the rest. Xiao Qinyu took a deep breath and stepped forward. Xiao Qinyu, 6th grade student, Wolf Martial Soul, rank 11 Soul Warrior. After he finished speaking, a white soul ring rose from his body once again, and the image of a wolf appeared on his body. Following that, his body began to become stronger and undergo some changes. Tang San pondered for a few seconds. Xiao Qinyu is smart, he thought. He reported his name and martial soul as soon as he came up. He had to do the same, or else it would be a sign of disdain and disrespect to his opponent, which would make him a mortal enemy. But I have a 400-year Datura soul ring now, so I'm not afraid. Even if Brother Feng is here, I should be able to fight. Tang San thought for a moment, then said calmly, "Tang San, 1st grade, Blue Silver Grass, rank 11 Tool, Soul Warrior." The moment he finished speaking, a yellow soul ring rose from Tang San's body. Everyone looked at him with disdain when they heard the words Blue Silver Grass. What use is this publicly acknowledged trash martial soul? It's not even nutritious enough to feed pigs. Can be used in a fight? Obviously, it was impossible. However, when Tang San's soul ring rose, everyone was stunned. Countless people were stunned. Shocked expressions crawled all over their faces. A 100-year soul ring. Xiao Qinyu was also shocked. A 100-year soul ring. As the son of a city lord, he only had a 10-year soul ring. Not even a 100-year soul ring. This working student actually has a 100-year soul ring? Did he attract the attention of a noble or some other power because of his outstanding aptitude? Did someone help him? Otherwise, how could he have a 100-year soul ring? How could a 6-year-old 1st grade working student become a true 11th rank soul master? Thinking of this, Xiao Qinyu looked at Tang San with even more vigilance. "Brother Xiao, it's just blue silver grass. It's nothing, it's just a trash martial spirit. Don't be afraid." That's right. Boss has a powerful beast martial spirit and has a powerful attack power. Big Brother Xiao, even a 100-year soul ring won't be able to save the blue silver grass. When you use your claw, the blue silver grass will turn into broken blue silver grass. Hearing the encouragement from the crowd behind him, Xiao Qinyu suddenly said in a low voice, "Shut up, all of you. Enough." The senior students at the back immediately shut their mouths. Xiao Qinyu fixed his eyes on Tang San. "Let's begin." Tang San stood where he was and said calmly. Although he spoke lightly, he was actually extremely cautious in his heart. Xiao Qinyu has a soul ring, which is totally different from the previous two. Just as Tang San expected, Xiao Qinyu stomped his feet and left 2 deep footprints on the ground. Before he even arrived, he could already feel an extremely overbearing force coming toward him. Xiao Qinyu waved his wolf claw-like palm directly at Tang San. It was a straightforward attack without any fancy moves. Tang San was not afraid. The mysterious jade hand in his hand glowed with a faint green light. With the breakthrough of the mysterious heaven skill, The power of the mysterious Heaven Treasure record had also increased. Do you think Boss Wong dares to fight me head-on? Seeing this, Xiao Qinyu sneered in his heart. He increased his strength by 30%, and his palm collided directly with Tang San's mysterious jade hand. However, the scene that everyone expected did not happen. Tang San was still standing where he was. He was facing Xiao Qinyu head-on, but he was not at a disadvantage at all. The next moment, Tang San grabbed Xiao Qinyu's wrist with his palm like a claw. With his shoulder as a fulcrum, he turned around and sent Xiao Qinyu flying. Fortunately, Xiao Qinyu was agile. He changed his posture in the air and landed steadily on the ground. After that, he kept retreating. Xiao Qinyu looked at Tang San with a gloomy face. He was a little shocked. This was the second person who could throw him out without using his soul power. Although he was not as strong as Boss Wong, it was not easy for him to do so. It's time to end this. Tang San shook his head. He could not defeat Xiao Qinyu even without using his soul power. This made Tang San easily judge that Xiao Qinyu's strength was far inferior to Boss Wong's. After that, Tang San shook his hand, and a sturdy blue-silver grass about half a meter tall appeared in his palm. Fine. Tang San gently activated his soul power. Suddenly, the ground trembled. Thick roots of blue-silver grass drilled out from the ground and tied Xiao Qinyu up in the blink of an eye. What the hell is this? Xiao Qinyu tried to break free, only to find that he could not. He could not help but feel horrified. Don't waste your time. Tang San waved his hand. In an instant, the roots of blue-silver grass that tied Xiao Qinyu up tightened. My soul ring is the mandala snake. It adds toughness and poison to the blue-silver grass. It can paralyze people and paralyze them. Now, I haven't used the poison yet. Do you want to try it? Tang San held the half-meter-tall blue-silver grass in his hand. It grew crazily. It was as thick as the mandala snake and was covered with veins. It was extremely shocking. This time, not only Xiao Qinyu, but also Xiao Wu and the others behind him were shocked. Xiao San seems to have become more powerful. Xiao Wu's eyes flashed with a strange light. Xiao Wu did not expect Tang San to have a soul ring in just one day. However, she was much better than Xiao Qinyu because she had told him in advance. No. I don't want to try, Xiao Qinyu said hurriedly. I admit defeat. Since you admit defeat, what about the agreement? Tang San asked. Agreement? Xiao Qinyu stared blankly at Xiao Wu. Was he going to call her his boss? No, Xiao Qinyu blurted out. I've already called Boss Wong my boss. I, Xiao Qinyu, have my dignity. How can I change my boss so casually? You're still not convinced? Xiao Wu bristled. She stepped forward and looked at Xiao Qinyu with her chin raised. Then, let me introduce myself. Xiao Wu, a first-year working student. Her martial soul is a rabbit. She is a rank 12 one-ringed soul master. A crisp voice rang out. Not only Xiao Qinyu, but Tang San was also stunned. That was because as soon as Xiao Wu finished speaking, a yellow soul ring suddenly appeared on her body. 100-year soul ring. At the same time, Xiao Wu's ears slowly lengthened and stood up from the side of her head. They looked like two rabbit ears. Another 100-year soul ring? Everyone was shocked. Tang San stared at Xiao Wu in shock. She had obtained a 100-year soul ring with the help of a grandmaster. How did Xiao Wu get her 100-year soul ring? Xiao Wu was also a working student. However, Tang San didn't think too much about it. After all, it was Xiao Wu's secret. Why are you looking at me as if I can't get a 100-year soul ring? Xiao Wu glared at Tang San. No. Tang San smiled awkwardly. Only then did he remember that Xiao Wu also had innate full soul power. He thought he was strong enough, but Xiao Wu was also hiding her strength. However, Xiao Qinyu still shook his head. No, even if you're a higher-level soul master, it's useless. Unless you can defeat Boss Wong. Xiao Wu snorted. Then tell your Boss Wong to come out. I'd like to see who your Boss Wong is. Tang San was also curious. Hey, Boss Wong is coming. He's right behind you. Xiao Qinyu's eyes lit up as he pointed behind them. The two turned around and were stunned at first. Then they spoke in unison. Brother Feng, could it be? You're the boss, Wong? The boy who dared to come out at this moment was... Chapter 34. Xiao Wu and Tang San looked at the child in surprise. It was Wang Feng, but he was much taller. From Tang San's point of view, Brother Feng was almost a head taller than him. This was already the height of a senior student, about the height of a 10-year-old child. Moreover, because of absorbing the power of the soul ring, he had grown 4 or 5 centimeters taller. I didn't expect Brother Feng to become taller. Moreover, her skin had become even fairer than before. It was even fairer than Xiao Wu's. Seeing Wang Feng walking over, Tang Xin couldn't help but be surprised, because he thought that there was only one possibility for Brother Feng's change. That was absorbing the power of the soul ring. Could it be that Brother Feng really hunted 100-year soul ring alone? Tang San was shocked. Apart from that, Tang Xin couldn't find any other reason to explain Brother Feng's change overnight. Looking at the situation, maybe his soul ring was not much worse than his 300 years, or the same 400-year soul ring as his, or even higher, because the higher the age of the soul ring, the greater the improvement of the soul master after absorbing it. Brother Feng's change was even greater than his. This meant that the soul ring he absorbed should be of a higher age? 500 years? 600 years? How was this possible? Tang San was shocked by his own speculation. Brother Feng could hunt a 500-year soul beast alone? That over 400 years old mandala snake. He had expended a tremendous amount of effort before he was able to kill it by sheer luck. What was even more unexpected was that Brother Feng was the boss of Xiao Qinyu and the other noble children. How'd he do it? He had been in the Holy Soul Village all the time and had never gone out. Tang Xin was smart. Almost at first sight of Wang Feng, he thought of a lot of things. In comparison, Xiao Wu only felt that this Tang San's Brother Feng had changed a lot overnight. He was much taller than her and looked better. After all, Tang San grew up with Wang Feng. However, Tang San didn't know that Wang Feng's change was not because of the soul ring, but because of the reforging of his body. It was the change brought by the meteoric tear. Boss Wang. Xiao Qinyu looked at Wang Feng with tears streaming down his face. Xiao Qinyu admired Boss Wang from the bottom of his heart, even though he had only known him for a day. But judging from the situation, it seemed that they also knew this Tang San. That's right, Boss Wang is a working student. Xiao Qinyu was shocked and knew that something was wrong. Cough, cough. Wang Feng walked up to Tang San and knocked on Xiao Qinyu's head with a chestnut and scolded. These two are my friends. How dare you find trouble with them? I don't know, Xiao Qinyu said, feeling wronged. If he had known that these two were such good friends of Boss Wang, he would not have had a conflict with Xiao Wu and Tang San at all. That, little Wu, it's all a misunderstanding. Let's just forget about it. Wang Feng glared at Xiao Qinyu again and continued. Xiao Qinyu, from now on, Xiao will be your boss. Do you understand? All right. Xiao Qinyu nodded. Although Sister Xiao Wu was also a working student, she was even stronger than Tang San. She was a 12th rank soul master. However, at this moment, Xiao Wu said sweetly, No, Big Brother Feng, since you're their boss Wang, then I have to defeat you to become their boss. Otherwise, it won't be fair and they won't listen to me. After speaking, Xiao Wu gave Tang San, who was beside her, a look. Tang San pondered for a moment and thought, although Brother Feng might have a soul ring, it might not be the most suitable one for him. My soul ring is the most suitable for me, and my strength has increased significantly. I should be able to fight Brother Feng. Plus, I have Xiao Wu. Maybe I could defeat Brother Feng. Brother Feng, Xiao Wu is right. Why don't we have a fight? Tang San echoed. Wang Feng looked at the two of them. Xiao Wu's eyes were full of competitiveness. It seemed that she wanted to fight with him very much. Little Three also seemed to be more confident because he had obtained a soul ring. Okay, who wants to go first? Wang Feng did not argue. It was a good opportunity to test his strength. I'll go first. Tang San was the first to speak, but his eyes were calm as he looked at Wang Feng. It had been more than 3 months since his last fight with Brother Feng. He was no longer the Tang San who had yet to awaken his soul power. The surrounding students and working students scattered and squatted on the ground like huskies. They watched with great interest, wondering what kind of battle would break out in a moment. Wang Feng walked to the other side, his hands behind his back. Tang San took a deep breath. Even now, Wang Feng still gave him a heavy pressure. Without thinking, Tang San calmed his mind and circulated the mysterious heaven method. Instead of using a soul skill, he charged at Wang Feng. Ching! He lowered his palms slightly and used the mysterious jade hands. Be careful, Brother Feng. With a low shout, Tang San's figure was like a floating leaf, swaying unsteadily, making it hard for others to grasp his movements. It seemed to be a strange movement technique. No one could see Tang San's figure clearly, but before they knew it, Tang San was already in front of Wang Feng. Tang San's hands formed claws and attacked Wang Feng's neck as if he was capturing a lion or a tiger. This is one of Little Three's special techniques. When I fought him, I didn't use any soft techniques. He could easily subdue me. Xiao Wu thought to herself. She had fought Little Three several times before, but most of the time, it was a draw. She could only defeat Little Three if she used soft techniques. However, if Little Three were to use this kind of strange footwork to engage in guerrilla warfare and escape, it would be very difficult for him to win. Xiao Wu didn't know his name, but Wang Feng knew the technique Tang San used. If he wasn't mistaken, it was a grappling technique from the mysterious Heaven Treasure Record, controlling crane, capturing dragon. That movement skill was the Ghost Shadow Perplexing Track. It was truly extraordinary. Compared to 3 months ago, Little Three was obviously stronger after getting the Soul Ring. Wang Feng remembered that in the original work, Little Three relied on the mysterious Heaven Treasure Record's unique technique and fought head-on with Dai Mubai, who was over rank 30, for the first time with his strength around rank 27. He directly forced Dai Mubai to use his soul power. Although Tang San hadn't practiced it more deeply, it was already extraordinary. No one could see Tang San's figure clearly, but Wang Feng could see it clearly. His physical fitness at the moment was far beyond Tang San's imagination. It wasn't something that the mysterious Heaven Treasure Record could make up for. While he was thinking, Wang Feng's body moved slightly, and his hand was as fast as lightning. He directly grabbed Tang San's wrist. Tang San was startled. He retracted his palm, bent it slightly, and condensed his strength. He wanted to use Brother Feng's palm to counter him. However, he found that Brother Feng's palm was like steel, and he couldn't use his strength at all. What a strong strength. Tang San's eyes narrowed, and he suddenly leaped up. Using his claws as an axis, he used Wang Feng's palm to jump high into the air. He jumped onto Wang Feng's back and jumped down as if he wanted to use the force to throw Wang Feng away. However, Wang Feng seemed to have expected this. A faint smile flashed in his eyes. His body quickly turned, and before Tang San landed on the ground, he flung Tang San out of the way in advance. Chapter 35. Seeing this, Tang San was shocked. Brother Feng's strength and speed seemed to have increased. His speed was already very fast, but Brother Feng could detect it in an instant and threw him out without giving him any chance to use his strength. He could throw him so high with just a casual throw. His body had grown very fast these days. He was at least 70 to 80 kilograms, but he threw him more than 20 meters? It was not easy to carry something that weighed 70 to 80 kilograms. Throwing him more than 20 meters high? How much strength did that require? This was not a distance of 20 meters, but a height of 20 meters. He could not do that. Blue-silver grass. Tang San shouted. In the next moment, a thick blue-silver grass grew from the ground and grew rapidly. It supported Tang San's back. Tang San stood firmly on the blue-silver grass's roots. He didn't panic at all when Wang Feng threw him. Instead, his legs were like springs supporting him on the blue-silver grass's roots. In the next moment, Tang San bounced off his feet and rushed toward Wang Feng. Everyone was shocked when they saw this. They did not expect the blue-silver grass to be used like this. Not bad. Wang Feng was also slightly startled. He had only used less than 1/10 of his strength. With little three's current strength, he was thrown more than 20 meters high. Although his physical fitness was excellent and he had the protection of his soul power, he would still be dizzy from the fall. He did not expect to use the blue-silver grass in this way. How quick-witted! At this moment, Tang Xin used the momentum to jump down, and along with the thick blue-silver grass, he jumped high and threw a punch directly at Wang Feng. I'm afraid that this punch will knock me down, right? Xiao Qinyu thought to himself. Jumping from 20 meters in the air and using the momentum of the fall, it was obvious that the strength would be increased by a lot. Wang Feng smiled and did not dodge this time. He directly threw a punch at him. Bang! The two collided and made a slight sound. Then, a figure was blasted out. He was blasted back dozens of meters. It was Tang San. Fortunately, he used the ghost shadow perplexing track to stabilize his body. He looked in horror at the motionless brother Feng in the distance. Then he looked at his trembling palm that had used the mysterious jade hand. It was as if he had completely lost his sense of touch. Big brother Feng, on the other hand, stood there as if nothing had happened. He didn't move an inch. Too strong. Big brother Feng's body is far superior to mine. Tang Xin quickly thought of this idea in his mind. He could not meet force with force. When everyone saw this, they were even more shocked. Tang San's strength was on par with Xiao Qinyu's when he was possessed by the beast martial soul. At this moment, he was the one who took the initiative to attack. From over 10 meters in the air, his fist smashed down, but he was instead forced back tens of meters. Wang Feng didn't even move his body. At this moment, Xiao Qinyu suddenly shouted, "Boss Wang, be careful. It's Tang San's soul skill bind. Once entangled, it's extremely difficult to break free." He had just finished speaking. Blue-silver grass grew wildly from Tang San's back. It was as if dozens of giant pythons were crawling on the ground, attacking Wang Feng in a frenzy. Is this the first soul skill of Little Brother 3? Wang Feng looked at the python-like blue-silver grass that quickly rushed out of the ground and crawled to his feet. Then it quickly wrapped around his whole body. In the blink of an eye, he seemed to be trapped in a big tree's cage. He was tightly imprisoned. Hey, Tang San's soul skill is too troublesome. Xiao Qinyu sighed. Boss Wang is also trapped. This is the blue-silver grass with the toughness of the mandala snake. Although Tang San's bind was only blue-silver grass, everyone had just heard from Tang San that this was the soul ring of a 400-year mandala snake with the addition of blue-silver grass. It was extremely tough. Only a soul master with 2 soul rings could compete for it. That was at least rank 20. Soul masters with the same soul ring. Even if they were soul warriors with a martial soul possession, they couldn't break free. Strange, with Brother Feng's speed just now. Logically speaking, he should be able to dodge Little Brother 3's bind, right? However, Xiao Wu felt a little strange. She was also a speed-type soul master. Although this bind was powerful, as long as one's speed was fast enough, they could dodge it. Unless, Brother Feng, do you want to try to break free from my bind? Tang Xin seemed to follow up with Xiao Wu's words, and a smile appeared on his face. Sorry, Brother Feng. I know that your physical fitness is very strong, so this time, I added the poison of the mandala snake. Although it's not fatal, it can slowly numb your body. Brother Feng, do you feel them all over now? This was the power of the combination of the mandala snake and his martial soul. His teacher said that the older the soul ring, although it could strengthen the soul master, it was still the age of the soul ring. It didn't mean that the soul master was strong. Only the most suitable soul ring could make the soul master stronger. Brother Feng's martial soul might be 500 or 600 years old, but it didn't necessarily suit his martial soul. Little San, good job, Xiao Wu shouted. Brother Feng, if you don't use your soul power, it might be a little difficult to defeat Little San. And I'm also very powerful, yes. Brother Feng didn't seem to use his soul power until now. And his soul ring. Everyone looked at Wang Feng curiously. Would he use his soul power and martial soul? He didn't seem to have revealed his soul master rank and martial soul. At this time, if he didn't use his soul power, he should be defeated. Ha ha. At this time, Wang Feng laughed and said, "Little San, your poison is not good. It's far inferior to the 500-year-old mandala snake I met in the soul-hunting forest." The moment his voice fell, Tang San was startled. Wait, the 500-year-old mandala snake he met in the soul-hunting forest? Everyone didn't quite understand the meaning of Wang Feng's words, but Tang San thought in shock at this moment. Could it be that the 500-year-old mandala snake that teacher and I met was killed by Little San? If so, then at this moment, boom! The blue-silver grass that wrapped around Wang Feng's body like a big tree seemed to be directly shattered by a terrifying force. Countless pieces of blue flowers and leaves danced in the sky. It was as if it was raining. It gave people an extremely shocking feeling. A figure walked out of the blue and silver flowers and leaves that filled the sky. Everyone held their breaths. Looking at this scene, none of them could say a word. Tang San, his eyes were wide open. Teacher said that unless the person had at least one soul ring more than him, it was impossible to break free from the entanglement. Moreover, Brother Feng didn't seem to be paralyzed at all. Sure enough, that 500-year-old mandala snake must have been killed by Brother Feng. That's too abnormal. So strong. Little San's Brother Feng is really strong. Xiao Wu looked at Wang Feng with sparkling eyes. He could break free from Little San's entanglement in an instant without using his soul power. Even a soul grandmaster over rank 20 couldn't do that. Everyone was also shocked beyond belief. "Boss Wang, you're too strong," Xiao Qinyu exclaimed. "Break free in an instant? I'm afraid I can do it at rank 20. Boss Wang hasn't used his soul power yet. What kind of martial soul does he have? What rank is his soul power?" Chapter 36. At this time, Wang Feng looked at Tang San and Xiao Wu, the couple, and said with a smile, "Little San, you can't beat me. You two can come together." If his body hadn't been reforged, he might not have been able to deal with this entanglement. But after his body was reforged, it was completely different from before. There was no way to compare at all. Hearing this, everyone was stunned. 1 against 2, and a rank 12 soul master? But looking at Wang Feng, who walked out of the sky, full of flowers and leaves, it seemed like there was a chance. Soul Master. It was a group that paid attention to cooperation and teamwork. The strength of 1 + 1 was far greater than 2. Tang San was only a control-type Soul Master, but Xiao Wu was a real attack-type Soul Master. One for control, and the other for attack. They were the most compatible partners in this two-man team. Xiao Wu. Tang San looked at Xiao Wu. He knew that it was impossible to defeat Brother Feng by himself, unless he used a real hidden weapon. But a real hidden weapon could never be used on a friend. "Okay, Brother Feng, then be careful." Xiao Wu walked out, and a yellow soul ring lit up on her body. Her martial soul was instantly attached to her body. Although it was very unfair to fight 2 against 1, it depended on who was the winner. Brother Feng was so powerful, so it was very fair to fight 2 against 1. Moreover, Brother Feng asked for it himself. "Come on." Wang Feng waved at the two of them. Wang Feng became a little more serious as he spoke. After all, these two were the male and female protagonists of the Douluo continent. Although their strength was still weak, if they cooperated in advance, would it trigger some special power? But obviously, Wang Feng thought too much. A pink figure suddenly attacked from afar. Fast. He was even faster than Tang San. Huh. Xiao Wu's slightly erect rabbit ears moved, and a fist flew towards Wang Feng. Wang Feng directly raised his palm. Bang! Her strength seems to be greater than Tang San's. As expected of a 100,000-year soft-bone rabbit. Even if she's only rank 12, her actual strength is not weak. Wang Fengxin thought to himself. After her fist was blocked, Xiao Wu's body was extremely light. Her other hand grabbed Wang Feng's palm and actually climbed onto Wang Feng's body. She was extremely nimble. His entire body seemed to have no bones, and the angle was extremely tricky. Wang Feng frowned slightly. Was this Xiao Wu's soft technique? She could make use of her body's flexibility to create all sorts of difficult trapping techniques. Very difficult to deal with. With that thought in mind, Wang Feng reached out his other hand to grab Xiao Wu. Unexpectedly, when Wang Feng's hand moved, it was unknowingly trapped by several tenacious strands of blue-silver grass. It was Tang San. The two of them cooperated with each other quite well. Wang Feng's palm shook, and in an instant, the blue-silver grass was shattered. But at that moment, Xiao Wu's hands had already wrapped around Wang Feng's neck like a pair of handcuffs, clamping down on Wang Feng's neck. Then, her legs landed on the ground. He was backed by Wang Feng. As long as she exerted her strength, Wang Feng would be thrown out. Because the neck was a weak part of the human body, being restrained like this would cause one to subconsciously lean back. Xiao Wu, who was standing on the ground, borrowed the strength of the ground to throw Wang Feng out. Almost in an instant, although Tang San and Xiao Wu had never cooperated before, this was their first time working together, and they already had an unimaginable tacit understanding. Everyone was horrified. However, just as Xiao Wu was standing on the ground with her hand around Wang Feng's neck and was about to throw him out, Tang San suddenly shouted from afar, "Xiao Wu, be careful. His neck isn't a weak point." Xiao Wu was stunned. Before she could exert any strength, she saw Wang Feng grin. Xiao Wu's hands were still tightly wrapped around his neck. Wang Feng directly threw Xiao Wu towards the front, directly throwing her into the air. In midair, Xiao Wu nimbly did a 360-degree Thomas somersault and landed steadily on the ground. Then, she quickly continued to rush over. She was extremely surprised. A person's neck was an extremely weak part, but Brother Feng didn't seem to be afraid at all. Could it be that his body was as strong as steel? Then, Xiao Wu used Tang San's entanglement as a cover and approached Wang Feng again. She used all kinds of soft skills, either to trap Wang Feng's legs or hands, or to stand upside down on the ground and clamp Wang Feng's head with her legs. But no matter how she used, Wang Feng still didn't move. Instead, Wang Feng used the special posture that he had learned from Tang Hao's disorder, splitting wind hammer technique to throw Xiao Wu out again and again. From afar, a pink figure under the cover of the blue-silver grass kept climbing up to Wang Feng, but she was thrown out again and again. This lasted for almost half an hour. Xiao Wu was so tired that she was dripping with sweat, and Tang Sin was so tired that he was panting. "Your cooperation is good, but still too weak," Wang Feng said with a smile. "Xiao Wu's soft skills are powerful, but they're not very aggressive. Little 3, your entanglement is also very powerful, but it can only harass me," he said as if nothing had happened, and he didn't even pant. "Everyone, Brother Feng, you're too shameless. You're waiting for us to attack." Xiao Wu bent over and was really exhausted. "If you have the ability, attack us. Your body is like a piece of steel. We can't hurt you, but you can't hurt me either." Then Xiao Wu straightened up, put her hands on her hips, and said with a pout, "My speed and dodging are super powerful. Is that so?" Wang Feng smiled. The next moment, he moved. Boom! There was a sudden explosion of air, and the ground under Wang Feng's feet cracked inch by inch. Everyone's eyes flashed. Tang San's purple demon eyes suddenly appeared, but he couldn't detect Brother Feng's figure. He couldn't help but shout, "Xiao Wu, hurry." However, he only said one word. Before he could finish the words, "Get out of the way." Xiao Wu was still in a daze and didn't hear him at all. Or rather, she didn't hear Tang San's voice at all. Wang Feng had already punched toward Xiao Wu. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Wu's face turned pale. The power of this punch made her feel suffocated. Xiao Wu instinctively closed her eyes. Not daring to open them, she didn't open her eyes until a long time later. She saw that Brother Feng's fist was right in front of her. It was less than 5 centimeters away from her. Seeing this, Xiao Wu heaved a sigh of relief and couldn't help but grin. "Brother Feng, your punch didn't hit me." As soon as she finished speaking, she felt that the surroundings were extremely quiet. Xiao Wu looked at everyone strangely. Even Tang San was staring at her in a daze, as if he had seen something extremely frightening. She couldn't help but be a little puzzled. As if something had occurred to her, Xiao Wu abruptly looked behind her. However, what she saw was a scene that made her extremely shocked. Behind him, a tree that was about 10 meters tall and had dense foliage was now completely bare. Countless leaves flew up into the air. Crack! The tree gently swayed twice, and with a boom, it fell directly to the ground from the middle. The power of this punch actually passed through Xiao Wu and directly broke the tree. Seeing this, Xiao Wu was dumbfounded. Everyone, Tang San, Xiao Wu. Chapter 37. This scene was too shocking, especially Tang San. This method was very similar to the true chi outburst of those martial arts masters he had seen in his previous life. He directly broke a tree with Xiao Wu in between. The leaves fluttering in the air were like colorful catkins as they scattered on top of everyone's heads. It was green. The children were completely dumbfounded by the sight before them, because it was too shocking. They had never seen such a shocking scene. Brother Feng, you used your soul power? Tang San asked in surprise. In Tang San's understanding, soul power was a kind of energy similar to internal strength. It was not only used to stimulate the martial soul. There were many other uses, such as using it to cultivate the Tang sect's unique skills. Therefore, although he was shocked, he was much better than the other children. Yes, I used my soul power. Wang Feng loosened his fist. Using soul power meant that a soul master could use his martial soul. But there were more uses for soul power in this world, especially soul power that had been compressed and purified. As long as one could control it well, he could release soul power out of his body. Just like Tang San could use the internal strength cultivated by the mysterious heaven skill to use all kinds of Tang sect's unique skills. Xiao Wu took 2 steps back and looked at Wang Feng as if he was a monster. She felt a little scared. It turned out that Brother Feng stood there and let us attack him. He didn't want to attack. I'm afraid he didn't want to hurt us. Xiao Wu pouted, although she didn't want to admit it. But it seemed to be the case. The punch just now was a very obvious example. If that punch hit my face, I'm such a cute girl and then I'll cry. My face will become ugly. Thinking of this, Xiao Wu hurriedly covered her face. Tang San didn't know. He only thought that Xiao Wu was a little scared, so he hurried to her side and comforted her. Brother Feng is very steady. He won't hurt you. Xiao Wu, don't be afraid. No, I'm afraid I'll become ugly. Xiao Wu covered her face and muttered. Tang San, who had never been with a girl, couldn't understand Xiao Wu's strange thoughts at this time. Boss Wang, how did you do it? Xiao Qinyu walked over and asked excitedly. What a powerful punch. Was it the power of his martial soul? He was able to travel through Sister Xiao Wu's body and break that tree. I can't even hit this tree, let alone Sister Xiao Wu. I want to learn. Boss Wang, I want to learn too. So handsome. Boss Wang, please teach me. Wang Feng looked at them and thought for a moment. Actually, it's very simple if you want to learn it. You just need to do one thing and I will teach you. You will learn it very quickly. Hearing this, Xiao Qinyu chuckled and said, Boss Wang, just tell me. Let's give it a try. Lu Long, Ling Feng, and the other kids were also watching. Tang San also watched curiously. It's quite simple. Wang Feng looked around and then walked in front of a huge rock that was about 1/2 meter tall and 1 meter wide. Look, as long as you can reach my level, it'll be fine. With that, Wang Feng punched out. Crack! The center of the boulder suddenly cracked open, and then directly broke into 6 equal pieces. Everyone was speechless. Tang San was speechless. Wang Feng waved at them and said, Come on, who wants to try? If anyone can do it like me, I can teach him. The corner of Tang San's mouth twitched. That was a solid rock. That punch would weigh at least a few thousand kilograms. Even a soul grandmaster around level 20 wouldn't be able to do it, even if he had a strength-type martial soul. The most frightening thing was that the rock had broken into 6 equal pieces, which meant that Brother Feng had controlled his strength very well. That was the most difficult part. It's such a nice day today. It's time to go back and practice my soul power. by Sister Xiao Wu. Hey, it's time for dinner. I'm hungry. Sister Xiao Wu, Boss Wong by. I can't learn it. I'm leaving. Instantly, the kids scattered in all directions. How could they learn it? If they punched down, it wouldn't be the rock that broke, but their own arms. Hey, Xiao Qinyu, do you want to learn it? Come on, give it a try. Wang Feng looked at Xiao Qinyu, who was the only one left, and waved at him. Xiao Qinyu shuddered and thought to himself, who can learn it? Boss Wang is such a freak. His physical quality is so strong. Xiao Qinyu wondered if Boss Wang's Cyan Lotus martial soul was a mutated martial soul. Was that why he had such terrifying strength? Ahem, Brother Feng, I'll learn it from you when I become stronger. Xiao Qinyu hurriedly waved his hand. Wang Feng sighed and said, you kids, I've already thought about it. I'll teach you my newly invented move, but you don't want to learn it. What a pity. The corner of Xiao Qinyu's mouth twitched. Just then, suddenly, Xiao Wu let out a soft cry. She squatted down and looked at Tang San with tears in her eyes. Xiao San, I hurt my foot in the fight just now. Carry me back later. Tang San was surprised and nodded at once. Unexpectedly, as soon as he squatted down, he staggered and almost fell. If he hadn't reacted fast enough and supported himself with his hands, he would have fallen flat on his face. I used up all my soul power just now. I'm a little weak now, Tang San said awkwardly. A man couldn't say no. However, Tang San was also a little speechless. He had fought with Brother Feng for more than half an hour. What little soul power he had was really used up. He guessed that Xiao Wu was in the same situation. Moreover, because she was the main attacker, she was thrown away by Wang Feng again and again. She was more likely to be injured. Seeing this, Xiao Qinyu's eyes lit up and he hurriedly said, Sister Xiao Wu, I still have strength. Let me carry you. No way. Xiao Wu gave him a look of disdain. Xiao Qinyu was speechless. At this time, Wang Feng thought for a while and said, let me help you recover. Hearing this, the three of them were stunned. They all looked at Wang Feng in surprise. Recover? How? Brother Feng, can you recover? Tang San looked at Wang Feng in bewilderment. Are you sure? Could it be that Brother Feng hunted 100-year-soul beast with the ability to recover? That's rare, and it might be compatible with Brother Feng's martial soul. Xiao Wu also looked at Wang Feng in surprise. Recovering soul power was an ability that only auxiliary-type soul masters could have. Boss Wang, don't tease me. You must have a mutated martial soul. You're a real soul warrior. How can you be an auxiliary-type soul master? Xiao Qinyu thought Wang Feng was the one who was joking. Wang Feng grinned at the three of them. If you still don't believe me, then let me introduce myself. I am Wang Feng, a first-year working student. My martial soul is the Azure Lotus. I'm a 16th rank auxiliary-type soul master. As soon as he finished speaking, he opened his palm and a mysterious Azure Lotus appeared. The lotus seed on the lotus platform bloomed into a dazzling golden lotus. The golden lotus was strong and beautiful, like a peerless lotus in full bloom. Golden arcs of electricity flickered around it, making it even more extraordinary. What a beautiful golden flower, Xiao Wu exclaimed. Then, a deep purple soul ring slowly rose from under Wang Feng's feet. The dazzling, mysterious, and noble purple light almost blinded the three of them. They instinctively covered their eyes with their hands, but they couldn't stop the powerful aura of the purple soul ring. Looking at the purple soul ring, the three of them were petrified. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.